Welcome back. Looks like we're in Agent Select for Haven. We're going to see Omen, 4-tapping on Omen, Gub on Breach, Ems on Jet, Seth on Killjoy, and Caillou on Sova.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like everyone kind of just filling into that same role. Pretty well that same pick we've seen. I think we have seen Seth on a few different agents on this map, but for the most part, we've got Caillou on Sova or Fade on this map 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Gub seems to always be on that Breach, and it works so well on
Especially
Haven.
on Haven, yeah.
Yeah,
There's so many angles.
So many long, like you take like A long, C long, anything like that, that concussion, that aftershock, you're almost
huge,
guaranteed a hit if you time it correctly. So we are seeing a Cypher.
On attack, too.
A Cypher on the attack start. The thing is about Cypher, though, on Haven, you can kind of just drop the cam, drop some utility, and almost leave that to hold the site. Like, back when the game came out during what people were calling, like, the clog meta with a lot of just triple Sentinel, you had, like, Sage, Cypher, and who else? Like, anyone with a wall, Viper, things like that. A lot of people were just leaving the C site entirely and stacking up more so towards the other sites. Gonna have to see how TMU opts to use this one. Another one is no Astra. We have seen 4-tapping on the Astra very, very often on this map, but I think most teams have just started to prefer the Omen here on Haven.
Definitely. I think Omen's way more mobile, a lot more flexible than Astra. Astra, you have to be you set yourself up to be very vulnerable when you're doing that Astra project to put down the smokes and stars.
Especially with all of the... Now, as we get deeper and deeper into Valorant's meta, so many people flank on this map. There are crazy flank lines you can take because, I mean, look how many options you have. You go all the way through CT.
Definitely.
You can run through B. All it takes is one person to be looking the wrong way for a frame, and then there's an insane flank that's about to come down. TMU Blue, off the start here, Huns is going to grab the Sheriff over there on that Jet. I'm assuming we're going to see probably a Paranoia coming from NECC on that Omen. You do see it in his arsenal there. On the defense, double frenzies. We've seen what these frenzies can do, and both those frenzies set up on a site right around where TMU is going to start off the round. But for as many times we see teams start off the round, a garden here, how many times do they end the round there is the question. It all depends on how this initial engagement comes out. Caillou close in the corner here, waiting for the 2 peaks.
That's how you
so
gotta
kind of
play
find this one, finds the second. That's 4 players down in the snap of a finger, and they know exactly where this 3rd player is. Sean, look at the taps, though.
Caillou now has the Sheriff, but that is it. That was a quick round from the Saints. That beginning with the frenzy, that's how you gotta play it. Those close quarters, just get right in there.
4-tapping also in all of that commotion, right? Yes, Caillou and Seth found their kill, or Seth didn't even find the kill there. It was Ems on the other side of the map. 4-tapping also found a headshot during all of that. I'm assuming closer towards that mid area as the 3 of them kind of ended up coming in for the flank afterwards. But yeah, Caillou, I mean, you take down 2 as Sova in that close range. You can be happy with that round. Only 1 fell in total. And now you win the pistol round. Now you get this force. TMU not going to force back. They're just going to have to soak this round. Hope they can make it that 2-1 scoreline after this. But then again, we have seen crazier things on the eco round. There are Sheriffs on the board. Like Ems, only able to grab 1, getting traded out by 2. I mean, Ems, he did keep the Sheriff. He wasn't one of the players that forced out. So not the worst trade in the world there. But you are giving another Sheriff to a almost full Classic team.
Yep, that's true. So now it looks like we got 2 Sheriffs on TMU side. And I think they're going to try and rotate here after seeing what happened last time they tried to full send A.
Yeah, Huns is really, not really low, but he is half health, and that's the player that you kind of want to get in there initially. You want that Jet to be making the space for you, but with no Cloudburst, only a dash to work with, and Seth on a Spectre. I don't expect Huns to last very long. He does get 1 shot with that Classic off, but Seth, you've got an SMG, they've got pistols. Even with this cage, you're able to find more. The Paranoia comes through. Seth gonna get hit by an Aftershock. Not actually sure whose Aftershock that was. Sean now just sitting grass. The spike is down, and this Saints roster knows exactly where that player is gonna be. There's only so many places you can attack that spike from.
Definitely. He bought that Sheriff, but did not get to fire it once, I think.
So. Yeah, I think he might have thrown some shots earlier in the round.
Yeah.
Now this is the big round for TMU.
True.
Right?
This is what they've been saving up for.
Exactly. You have your utility. You have your rifles. Yeah, you have the one player on that half armor. 2 players, actually, on that half armor. But you're assuming the utility is going to be almost bought out. I do see Jet. I do see Breach with some full util there. Cypher missing a cage or 2, it looks like, but not. I don't think that's the end of the world on attack, especially when, you kind of have to wait to set those up anyway or toss them in with a nice little lineup. Yeah.
Definitely. Looks like we're going to see a split push A and garage. Just feeling out what works better. Ems.
He doesn't want to walk too far forward down sewers if he doesn't have to, as that spike is situated towards mid. The Sova from the side of TMU doesn't necessarily know if they want to make the rotate. It looks like they are going to head A.
Play that A long.
And this is the thing. You've got the rifles now, so you don't want to play too fast and give one up.
Definitely, definitely. Caillou watching this A long. He saw one. He's definitely going to hold that point. M's holding the very close sight line with that Spectre. That's how you got to use that.
Aftershock comes through. That's one. The dash away. He's not able to find the second, but he is able to keep his life for a while. Sean going to be breaking down the lines of defense here. 2v2, 2-4-2 as the Cypher is the last one left, and Gub with that Spectre. Now every single player left gets a nice weapon upgrade. TMU Blues economy not going to be looking good for the next few rounds.
Definitely. The Saints are on a roll, and you can see that as Ems buys an op on the 4th round.
Yeah.
which is definitely a statement there.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been able to keep a Spectre for so long, why not? Honestly, you toss one of those rifles to your other players that you picked up, and you pick up the op for yourself. Now you've got a Jet opping on defense. A can be held down pretty much just from the Jet themselves, and now you get to move your Sova over towards C, which is, granted, not an area, not a site that TMU has been pressuring all too much. I mean, we haven't really seen much action C this entire game. It looks like it's going to be another A hit here. Ems, yeah, it takes the safe play there.
Heard those footsteps.
Oh, yeah. Now, Gub's going to have to be the player to hold down sewers here. Ems kind of getting pushed, kind of getting flanked by a lot of players. Ems is deep into 2 of them, finds one with the shorty, makes it out towards sewer, might be able to trade one more out. FPS Rose with that final shot from the Stinger. Now you get an upgrade, you get the op here for the post plant. Fives get to set up all that Cypher utility, and 3 players have to make this retake happen from the Saints. 2 fall in the blink of an eye. It's all up to Caillou.
With an op, this is going to be very hard for the Saints to get this. You got flashed. Caillou tried his best there, but there's not much you can do in the 4v1.
Yeah, Ems. It all kind of fell apart when Ems was forced to make that aggressive dash closer to sewers. It was, you lose your life back sight or you try to take one with you. He ends up taking one down with that shorty, but too little too late. 3 players chase him down and just too low in health when it comes down to it. TMU, now you found your 1 round. You've got weapons in hand. Saints are able to buy up a little bit, but not exactly what you're looking for. There is the Blade Storm from M, so you can consider this a full buy in that respect.
Definitely. We hear it come online immediately.
Caillou's arrows are just so, like, they're just satisfying to watch the bounces come through with all of these lineups.
I mean, it's like watching those ping pong trick shot videos.
Yeah. Off of 4 pans into a solo cup.
Looks like it's going to be a slow play, but it looks like it's definitely going to be B here. Using lots of util here. Hun's on the op.
No dash available. He's pretty far up. The barrel is spotted out. M should be able to take him. Gets that knife reset as well. I think he's got 4 left there. After all is said and done now, you've traded pick for pick. You still have the Blade Storm available. TMU just going to send it A. As it's Caillou, kind of the last line of defense here on A. Going to be waiting for any kind of audio cue to signal his teammates on that rotate. You still have 2 over near C. TMU, you got to make this plant soon before Caillou and Ems get too close.
Definitely. Ems is encroaching onto the site with Blade Storm.
Wow. Through the smoke.
Yeah, that was crazy. We got to check his PC about that.
I mean, you see the arrow come down. You see that shock arrow go under hell and spam through that smoke all you want, because chances are a Sova's not going to make it out of there in time, and Fives makes the right decision on that play. After that blast from the breach, Seth takes a little bit of damage, has to drop down. There's 3 looking at him. He finds 2 in the end. Gub left in the 1v2. Fives finds the 3rd of the round, and TMU finding their stride after getting rifles in hand.
Definitely, they're definitely getting back in the swing of things. Saints had a lot of momentum there, but it seems like TMU's getting their momentum right back.
Yeah, and I mean, realistically, you take a look at the scoreline, those first 2 rounds, or at least after the pistol round, that second round is almost a guarantee for the Saints to win. The fact that TMU was able to even take a few down is solid there. The 3rd round is where TMU kind of faltered, but you've picked it back up. You won a thrifty round immediately after, and now your economy is feeling much, much better than the Saints.
We're seeing Odin from TMU right away, spraying down that door.
I think that's the 1 round nobody from Saints has even started Garage either, which is...
Yeah, that's very lucky.
Yeah, huge from them to not... Because even if you try to run away there, you're going to get tapped out by 1 or 2 Odin shots, even if it is through 2 walls in the end.
Now you're a 1-tap from a Phantom at range.
Yeah, actually, 135, 140 at range. That one's going to hurt. Huns is all the way up into this C site. All the utility cleared off. All the utilities set up. You've got some of that Cypher utility. I believe that's a tripwire over near Garage. Gub's going to have a hard time making it to Garage Link there. 3 players on this flank, but you're giving up too much info with all of this full sprinting. It's the paranoia.
Definitely, but it looks like they're taking advantage of the... Ooh, that was a huge shock arrow.
That was massive. They know this tripwire's here too. They should have gotten close enough to see it. Caillou spots out 1. He knows this other player's close on the left. 4-tapping. Going to be pushing in. The right click is going to come through. That was a joint effort between Classic and shock arrows and just spraying through the wall. Now Gub tries to get close into the back sight there. This spike going to explode eventually. Maybe you'll be able to take down Fives and Hums in the process. Huns is going to fall. Fives makes it out alive.
And 4-tapping is able to save that Odin.
That's a big chunk of economy, especially when your team not able to grab much. You have an LMG on defense.
Definitely.
You play it out right, 4-tapping could shut down an entire lane on the map here.
Looks like he's going to play Garage now and try and spray through those doors.
Yeah,
spray right back.
I believe it. Yeah, it's like that top left corner. There's one little spot where you can basically just shut down anyone who tries to walk out garden right at the starting. And even going through a wall, Odin just going to keep up that damage, being that high wall penetration weapon. There it is. Yeah, it's like top left of the door there. But TMU Blue had so much success on C last round. They're just going to pull the exact same maneuver. Ooh. Not going to spot Seth.
Oh my God.
4-tapping with that Odin. Shuts down the entry, shuts down the Cypher. Should help stall this plant for long enough, but FPS Rose, Odin v. Odin action here on the C site. 1 player up. TMU's Omen does get a little bit of info. Sean comes in for 1 for 2. The Odin in hand. 4-tapping for 3. The trade comes out from the Odin player.
Odin diff.
In the end, Sean picks up a rifle. 3 kills on this breach. Caillou going to be spotted out, or Neural Theft uploading. Cypher fell very early into that round. I'm not sure where that came from, but Caillou kind of just shift walking around. Yeah, it seems like we're having a... that's an interesting visual there, but...
From the grave. He's trying to support his team.
Yeah, he's providing all of that info. I think Caillou has an Odin in hand now, too. Look at the health bars, the health total from the side of TMU Blue. No more than 60 health between the two of them.
They have to play very carefully here. You know, just like 1 or 2 bullets from the Odin, and that's it for them.
Yeah, you really have to isolate these ones here. There it is. Now all you have to do if you're Caillou is spray 1 or 2 bullets into NECC. I believe 1 through Heaven Wall will immediately shut that down.
Even if it's in the foot.
You just have to clear out every other angle on site. You might have seen where that smoke came from. I'm not 100% sure. No, the indecision starting to pull in. NECC, what a headshot.
Goodness.
As the smoke fades. Caillou not ready to see that player. Heaven. TMU Blue takes the lead 4 rounds straight.
What a comeback, I just have to say. You know, they lost pistol round. They lost the subsequent round, which you expect, obviously. But once they got those rifles, they have been on point, I have to say. Using that Odin to full effect. See M's back on that op, trying to make that work out. But it didn't work out that great the first time. It did give TMU, they picked it up and really made use of it.
Yeah, 100%. Ems didn't find full value, I don't think. You realistically, you grab that up, you're looking for 1 or 2 picks in the round, and you're looking to carry it over. You do not want to give such an expensive weapon to another team, especially on a thrifty round, the way it kind of worked out there. Seth, it looks like Odins are just the gun of the game here. Both teams picking up these Odins, ready to just make these wall spams, as so much of this Haven map can just be shot through with an LMG like that. Whether it be an Odin, even an Ares works in the same capacity, just don't have the same ammo count.
Definitely. Not enough ammo count, not enough damage, I think. We're going to see the Killjoy ult by Seth, trying to push them all off. Oh, we're going to see a counter ult here. Going to take that right out of the equation.
I mean, that's the one-for-one we see all the time. You almost have the Sova just to counter other teams' Killjoys there.
Definitely. Fives pushed up a little too far there and got taken out by Ems.
Cam shut down by Seth. Knows 1 or 2 is in that sewer corner. Doesn't know 2's actually locked up towards the left. Sean finds 2 from under heaven as well. 4 tapping. Has to try and make this 1v2 play, but that spike timer ticking away. Maybe even an op. Not going to be picked up by Sean. Focusing more on life there. I choose life, says Sean. As look at the economy in this round. 5 rounds straight. The Saints, every time they've picked up a morsel of anything, whether it be one gun, whether it be an op, an Odin, it's all kind of fallen apart as TMU really found their stride on attack, found great ways to pick apart this Saints team.
Definitely. It seems like they've been avoiding B very heavily this far.
Yeah.
Just going full send A or C seems to be the play by TMU.
I mean, and I don't even blame them. However, they are going to take those early fights mid. Ems, deep out grass, is able to find 2 with that Sheriff. Honestly, you are so happy with that on an eco round the way Saints were. I believe there was a Marshall posted up towards mid as well. Caillou, it's a little bit aggressive on that push. 4 tapping, catches 5s with the camera out. 5s not able to switch to the rifle in time. Now you've got 2 players over towards B. The Rolling Thunder should be able to knock both of them. NECC actually got away in time. You spot the barrel. Gub finds 1, pushes out. He spots the other. Now you just have to make this Marshall shot count. Concussion to come through. That's going to be the thrifty round.
That was an amazing save round by the Saints. They just used their abilities so well. Such good teamwork. They played very aggressively in the beginning there, and it almost seemed like it wasn't going to work, but they quickly turned it around.
A full Sheriff round, and 4 tapping just opted to buy the Guardian. Ends up finding 2 with it off of Ems's 2 Sheriff kills as well. Beautiful thrifty round, and if we take anything from the thrifties that have come through in the rest of this game, could be starting a streak for the rest of this half. Saints, if you do find the streak, you're looking at a 7-5 half here, but TMU Blue, at this point, just try to knock that 6, that 6 number to at least win or even out this half. TMU Blue would be super happy with that. The thing is, they've got so much cash in the back pocket. Their buys are going to be immaculate here. Ems not actually going to get spammed out, and 1 more kill with that Blade Storm. Make the taps happen. 7 health to his name, and he is going to make it out alive.
That is unfortunate arrows. I just have to say that. But I'm glad he got out there alive and he got used to those knives.
Yeah, his earlier Blade Storms haven't really been good for much more than 1 or 2. So the fact that you secure the 2 super early, you even make it out alive, that'll give you an angle at the very least to maybe be able to pop another head as someone turns a corner. But 2 players from TMU back over towards A. 5s has pushed up into garage, but spotted out by Seth. There's an alarm bot here. He is going to shut it down.
Almost looks like he's trying to divert all attention to C right there and then rotate over with his team.
These other 2 players have cut all noise A, but the Saints, with 5 players alive, you don't even have to fall for it. You can just sit back on your regular holds. Caillou finds 1, is traded out by Huns. Gub is going to be ready for Huns to make it on to this site. He's going to wait for that spike plant as well. It's going to be tapped up. Huns' paranoia comes through. They spot him out in the corner. The team play works out in the end. 5s on that long rotation. Shut down in the end by Gubs as well. 5-5 now in the half. Saints, momentum in their hands. Shut down the economy of TMU a little bit as well. TMU going to be on kind of the same kind of buy that the Saints grabbed their first round back
Very
with.
similar, yeah. Guardians,
similar
Sheriffs.
2 Guardians, 3 Guardians.
And a frenzy.
TMU just trying to guarantee their bye on that final round, just in case. And at this point, you're looking to take rifles out of the Saints' hands. Try to make it so they won't have the most favorable bye in the end.
Definitely. We're going to see that huge concussion read by Gub there.
The thing about using that concussion right at the starting of the round as well is that it's one of the ones that's on a timer. So you can just wait out 30, 40 seconds and then reuse it for post-plant. Ems finds the first pick, other side of the map there over towards C long. Op, going to be put to more use than previously. Caillou, NECC almost found that one, actually. It looked so close. The jump peek by Caillou going to give a lot of information. Huns paranoid as they try to come down from the skies. Gub shuts them down. 3 players trying to push out of A-Long here. You've got Guardians into a Phantom. That's the concussion you're looking for. The headshot through the wall. 2 players rush on.
Looks like
shuts them down.
Oh, did Ems just get a no-scope?
No-scope to finish it off. 3K as well. Wow. Hops up with the updraft, finds the no-scope landing on that middle box, secures the 3rd kill.
I feel like I blinked and I missed the end of that round.
I mean, and it was such a back and forth between Sean as well. Sean up there, 11 kills, but Ems top in the charts, 15 and 9. That's what you want your Jet to be doing, if anything. And to be able to make it on that defense with it, double ops in this final round, 4 tapping, holding down the C side. Where's the Jet stationed at? It is going to be A-Long. He was kind of inside of Caillou's portrait there.
Hans watching A-Long. Ooh, op v op, but M squeaks it out there.
He got legged. Huns actually hit that
my
shot,
God.
but whether it was through the wall or in the leg, wasn't enough to finish Ems off. He has 15 health to his name. And I mean,
you never see that.
you rarely see that. I really want to know if it was through the wall or if he actually just got shot in the leg. Nonetheless, NECC there to finish off that kill, avenge Huns, and make the 4v4, make it an even score. Caillou having the entire world of utility dumped on him here, and somehow he's still just going to hold it down behind, not able to find any more. FPS rose in one fell spray. He finds 2. Sean finishes off 4 tapping. Seth, the only one between a 6-6 scoreline here at half.
Definitely, it's all up to Seth here. Can he get a 3K here? It's possible. He's on this disadvantage here with Spike being down, but I believe he can get it here. He can at least take one out. Get those stats up.
It's just a brutal crossfire. You've got Sean holding Heaven. You've got Rose holding both sewers and main from that angle, and you have, of course, the rotator, I guess that B-link area covered by 5s. It's tough to make that, but 6-6 half. Both teams keeping it even here. TMU, 3 rounds lost, but you found that 5 streak in there, and now you're on the defense. Saints, we haven't seen really too much that would show that you're going to cook up on this offense, especially with a player like Sean or 5s being able to play the post plant so well on the attack. I expect the defense to be just as strong. Saints are really going to have to split up this TMU team from finding those trades if they want this to be a valuable attacking side.
Definitely. Even though this is pistol round, I do think it'll show a lot about how the rest of this match will play out.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. I think depending on how the attack is matched by TMU Blue, I think it's really going to teeter on the rest of this, because you give Saints enough momentum, they could pull a 5-round straight like TMU Blue did, and at that point you're at like 11, maybe even close to 12 if you're able to find any more.
Definitely. It looks like they're just playing, oh, it looks like, just as I say that, they are going to go for an A push here from long.
3 players long, 2 maybe down sewers there.
Definitely, and Huns is going to hold that close corner. That is an annoying spot to push right there, because even if you do try and clear that, someone can at least, get a bullet off on you.
Hun spotted out. He's able to take down Seth before Caillou makes that trade. Now, 4 Saints made it onto A. Caillou gets to move back. Most likely going to be playing lineups, hold that flank. 4 players rotate back. One's up Heaven. Gub's going to be playing under Heaven. has to hold this as FPS Rose drops. Caillou finds him falling, a headshot in the air. NECC falls to Caillou. That's the third for Caillou. Caillou is on for an ace in this as Sean takes down one. Caillou for the fourth. Sean takes down another. It's 4 tapping left. Sean with 2 health. Not able to bring that one home.
That was so close.
I mean, I was not expecting Sean to drop down from heaven and find like 3 1-taps with that ghost.
That
This
was
man
crazy,
has been,
yeah.
Sean has been a monster on these pistol rounds. He found the only kill that TMU Blue found in that first pistol round, and it was just a crispy tap as a player tried to jump by a door. I mean,
Yeah, that was crazy.
You can't deny something like that. It's just sheer skill.
Looks like they got a full save here, so they can buy for the 3rd round. So it looks like we're just gonna see a frenzy. Is the only thing they're gonna buy here.
2 players straight out garage here, Sean and Huns. Seth's gonna be concussed up, but should actually make it out of the concussion before these 2 players really push him. Spots out 1, 2 body shots. Can find the headshot as well. 2 players down. A flash comes out through mid. This is going to be the peak of a lifetime with that Spectre, and everyone falls on a TMU eco immediately. Probably a 20-second round to be played out in the end, and Saints now up 2. Got to see if they can shut down this full buy again from TMU. They were able to do it last half. Can they do it on the attack is the question.
Looks like we're going to see an Odin from TMU. Rose loves that Odin. Rose keeps buying that Odin, and good for them. They make good full use of that Odin.
Yeah, I can't even be mad about it.
Yeah.
Like these players, Rose, and I think it's Sean was another one who had picked up the Odin for a round, grabbed a double, flipped back to a Phantom, made it a triple, and just kept the momentum going.
Yeah, definitely. On attack, when you want to spray those sight lines down through those walls, clear those angles, Odins definitely are an advantage.
From the tripwire. That's rough.
Yeah. Fives miraculously getting out of here, but he's going to go in, try and get a pick.
How is he alive still? The spray finally comes through. Aftershock on the site, concussed up as a few members of the Saints as Gub has to remove that tracking dart to be able to get this plant down. Kind of assume TMU knows it's in that default plant spot after spotting him out there. FPS Rose has the dart up in 3 seconds, but the Odin is going to be way more valuable to him in this moment. 4 tapping, caught out in the corner, has to win this 1v2, has to find one, can't find the second tap. Sean, a great trade. That's how you play with your teammates on the post plant.
Definitely. You got to do that split push angle right there. That was perfect. Perfect by TMU.
8-7, they evened it up. They weren't.
Yeah.
History did not repeat itself there in this second half as Saints weren't able to shut that down. Now, Saints going to be on more of a thrifty themselves. They are going to have rifles available, actually.
Going to see a Judge from TMU as well.
Interesting. I mean, Judge Jet on defense.
Right there.
I always love to see it. He's going to be over near A. They're pinging out that A guard in there, and it's actually only going to be Seth to hold it, and there's an alarm bot. This one may not go the way TMU thinks. It looks like Jet actually moved all the way over. Going over to B. There's nothing set up on this C site. They've kind of just left it wide open.
Looks like they're going to have to play for retake here, Yeah,
a couple sonar darts come through. They are going to be from the Saints. They realize nobody's on this site. Huns shut down before the Judge can really find its value. NECC close in the smoke. Look at these trades to come through. Sean, how are you always on the kill feed when it feels like you're not even in the round to begin with? Caillou shuts down FPS Rose. That's Odin down in the 2v1. Seth playing also from garage. Kind of going to have to make a pincer maneuver here onto Fives. Swung by Caillou. Caillou finishes that kill for the 3K. But, I mean, how did that round end up so close? How is there 2 players left from the Saints after the most insane scuffle on the site? And Sean somehow trades out 2 from CT.
I think that's just what happens when you have to play retake there. They just left C wide open, so they had to try and funnel in as fast as they could, but just couldn't get there in time. Sean tried to, put the Band-Aid on that mistake there, but it wasn't enough to win them the round there.
Yeah, he tries to make up, and I mean, that's all you can hope for from your team is that your kills are going to be traded out. When you grab that info, whether you do damage, whether you fall to a 1-tap, you just hope that somebody can make your trade. You just have to play with your team in that sense.
Definitely.
This is a much slower start from the Saints here, even with lower utility here and lower weaponry from TMU Blue. NECC finds the first blood and makes it out scot-free, not even a tick of damage to be found.
That's what I'm noticing with TMU. They seem to be able to use the save weapons, like, stupidly well. It's, like, almost annoying how well they can use those sheriffs and ghosts and
very smart from four tapping there. Actually just juggles those guns all the way to the spawn, tosses the Vandal out of the map. If you're going to leave this area wide open before, the last thing you want is NECC doing like a double back, finding a Phantom or a Vandal and making a flank play on this Omen.
Definitely. You got to make that kill as unvaluable as possible for the enemy team. Fives holding Heaven with Shorty.
Four tapping is going to be in for a rude awakening as he turns around here. Two players able to find one. Jiggle peek this door. Can you find a second? FPS Rose shuts him down, but he does find Huns. That's 3v3. Ems with the spray down onto FPS Rose. How does Fives find that? With a Shorty is the question. Fives holding down the site with a 3K. Shuts it down. Cypher making their mark here in this second half. Close to tying it up now, 9-8. This is, it's rare that we see a first map go so deep, to be honest. Most teams are usually that first map, one of the teams is going to be much stronger on it. And I think this just shows how much, you know, both of these teams, they've played each other many times before. Obviously, we talked about the Saints being knocked out of CVAL by this same squad here. And TMU Blue showing why they're another very highly regarded Canadian Valorant school here. Definitely. Just another
we're going to have to
squad.
I think we're going to see Ems on the Blade Storm here. Yep, there we see it. And it looks like they're going to do a really hard C push right here.
Pushing into Fives back site. The Rolling Thunder does come through. Fives, I think he actually made it out of there. I'm not sure he was tapped up by it. NECC spam through in the smoke. Gub kind of just has an inkling that there's somebody playing Garage, and he does find that. 3 players, though. Push out a CT. M's not able to finish off the kill onto FPS Rose. He actually only hits 1 body shot, I think. 4 tapping all the way on the other side of the map. I'm not sure if he used the ultimate for that. He does only have 1 point after that plant, so I'm going to assume he did, as now they get the plant over onto A. It's a long rotation from TMU Blue, and they don't have the facilities to make this retake just yet. You've got Caillou playing all the way over towards Garden. You assume they're just playing for some lineups there with Gub. Should be able to shut down this retake.
Han's going to watch that A long. He knows they have to rotate, and he gets that quick flick right there. That was amazing. Caillou. Oh, 4 tapping gets taken out by Rose Heaven.
Yeah, now you've just got that Hunter's Fury here to stall out the plant. Huns knows this round is long gone for the team, as 10 rounds secured for the Saints. TMU close to tying it up there, very close, but it's a great call out from 4 tapping to just say, okay, guys, we're sending it A. Caillou can play the long game. He can play all the way from Garden. Just use that Hunter's Fury, as TMU, down a few players, has to make the rotation.
For sure. When you're this late in the game, you have to make use of your ults. You know, some people, they'd save it for that perfect moment, but if you can win a round off an ult, you got to take that, especially when a game is so close like it is here. We're going to see another Shorty, or judge from TMU, NECC on that Shorty.
The thing about this half is we have yet to see a team also grab like a streak of wins. The most we've seen is 2 rounds in a row, as it's back and forth. No team has been able to build up a solid economy, and every once in a while, we see a player with a Guardian in hand or a Spectre in hand, while the rest of the team is up there on rifles. That's what happens with these back and forth rounds.
Definitely. This is not a steamroll game at all.
Target actually spotted out and hit there. FPS Rose has to move back out of B-Link. M's going to make this push into Garage. Fives doesn't even need help from NECC now. Here's the thing. If NECC peeks out right there, he might not be close enough to secure the judge kills. That could actually be devastating for him right here. But now he's just going to lurk in this
He's going to hope someone walks into that smoke for sure.
No, he's going to play... I mean, he's going to play like a rat all around, and that's how you get the value out of the Odin. Either that or you play Jet or something, dash in, and you're already close range onto 3 of them, and maybe you're able to find a multi-kill or 2. Huns, the timing is insane. He's not going to get spotted out. Saints still going to have to clear out this back corner. Huns peeks out, finds one, dashes up, and he's all the way out, back to the site. Gets a new angle onto Seth using that updraft. Pops the Blade Storm. Is going to spam all those knives out. Not going to find Caillou, but FPS Rose there for the support. What a round from Huns there.
He made use of that op, and he popped blades, panicked a little bit, missed them all, but tied it up with the op again. It was definitely very slippery there too. He got the op shot, zipped right out, got another op shot. That's what you want to see when you're a Jet.
The thing about the blades as well, the support that he had there, that second player, FPS Rose, only had a stinger in hand. He's only working with a stinger. You kind of need something to secure the close range fight, considering you only have an op. You popped a Blade Storm, you whiffs all the knives, but even just that voice line, it makes the Saints have to hesitate on the pushes. They have to be ready to push into a Blade Storm and not just an operator.
Definitely. It looks like we're going to see a C push from the Saints, and they almost have site control here. If they just push up a little bit more, I think they'll have it.
Fives not going to be spotted out in the site. Gub has made it far up here into Garage and is just playing close with this frenzy. He is going to be able to shut down NECC. 2 pistol kills come through, and 2 guns should be back in the Saints' hands. 4 tapping with the Guardian. Good for 2. Last one alive is Huns, op in hand. The question is, can you rationalize the save when it's going to bring the Saints up to round 11?
Definitely.
You might have to. In this moment, you might just have to play for exits.
Definitely, I'll have to agree with you there. I think he is going to play with exits there, hold that long angle. But that secures Saints 11-9. That is a tough score to come back from.
Ems is about to meet the sight lines of Huns here. He kind of has an inkling that there's going to be a player around here. Huns whiffs that first shot. The shorty comes out. He does find an exit. That's going to be as much value as you can hope for on that save. Huns brings the op over into the next round. He's saving this op, and we've seen him put in the work with it. Now this is a timeout to come through from TMU. Backs up against the wall here. Can't let Saints find one more round.
Definitely. I definitely agree with the timeout here. The Saints are on a roll here. Definitely got so much momentum. You just want to try and stop that where it is.
Team has to figure out something here. TMU on the defense. You've got 3 ultimates to work with. You've got a Hunter's Fury, but the 2 other don't necessarily shut down anything. I mean, you have to find a pick to get the Neural Theft up, and the Omen ultimate, it's going to give you some intel or maybe a quick rotation.
It can be pretty tricky, you know. You can get some good plays with it, but it's very hard to get a really solid play. That's just mainly just getting the spike out of a bad spot, you know, rotating really quick. But we do have on the Saints side the Killjoy ult, which is
lockdown is big,
really big.
I mean, that is a round-turning, a game-turning ultimate to be in the Saints' hands right now. On attack as well, it can either secure. I mean, here's the thing: there is the Hunter's Fury up, so you're going to be trading 1-for-1. That does kind of help the fact that you're not worried about the Hunter's Fury taking down any players in, let's say, a C long angle or something of the sort. But Saints starting off over towards A. A is kind of the prime site on Heaven, or on Haven to begin with.
Definitely. Gub going for the concussed right out the gate, and it looks like they're going to rotate immediately to C, which I think is a good play here.
That was a big pick from Huns. You shut down the Killjoy, you shut down the 1 ultimate available for the Saints in this round. The Saints have to rethink their entire setup here. You see the tripwires on C. This is what I'm talking about. Fives, while he is even playing in that back left corner of C site, he could play this from CT if he wanted to.
Definitely.
It's all up to him at that point. And just kind of mixing up where he plays every single round. So the Saints got to keep themselves guessing as to where this Cypher is going to be.
For sure. Looks like they're going to try and push B here. M's up on the box. We're going to see that Sova ult right out the gate, trying to get that default plant stopped. But Caillou is going to be able to get that down.
Dodge a lot of that shock dart damage as well, as long as you don't peek into this op. FPS Rose picking it up from Huns and putting in the work just like Huns was. Mzu for the second in the round, as there's 2 players left. It's that Omen, it's that Sova. FPS Rose still has a shock dart to work with, not able to find the shot onto Gub. Gub shuts them down, and NECC's the only one left. Has to try and shut this down. You don't want to let this round 12 come through for the Saints, but it might be inevitable. He tries to make that running spray. The crossfire right on B site.
It is looking tough for TMU here. Match point, you have to spend every single round. Make sure you can't lose a single round here.
You have to go straight 3-4 rounds straight here, or at least 3 rounds straight just to bring it into overtime. Then you're looking for another 2 for that win. Of course, overtime can go on as long as necessary there. You got to win by 2 in the overtime. Saints, you're looking to shut this down this round. I mean, looking at the buys, you're up on buys, you're up on ultimates as well. You've got, well, even on ultimates technically, but you do have that lockdown still. It wasn't burnt last round. You know there's no Hunter's Fury to counter it. This is the prime round to use that lockdown and secure the victory here.
Definitely. It looks like they're going to do exactly as you say. Here's the ult.
Shock dart.
Shock dart's coming out, but cannot stop that ult.
Sean, he's ready to go down.
Go down with the ship.
Honestly, as he's shut down, it's Fives the only one remaining. Hunter's Fury to come out, move Fives off that point. There's a shorty up in heaven. M's holding this close angle. This should be all but secured for the Saints as
we need to see a miracle here from Fives.
In a Spectre in hand, too, it actually would require everyone to just push in one by one.
Definitely.
On to Fives there, but Seth shuts them down in the end. It's a 13-9 victory here in map 1. What a tight game, though, on Haven.
That was a great game. You know, honestly, just all around. It was back and forth. Neither team was steamrolling. It was
yeah, I wouldn't say neither team had a huge advantage. Yes, the Saints picked it up at the end there and kept it to kind of a 2-round deficit for most of that second half. But when it came to that first half, you could have told me this game was going either way. I would have believed you.
Definitely. It looks like Ems was on the top of the leaderboard there with 24 kills. He was going off. And we did see a lot from Sean, but Fives definitely stepped up there in the later half of the game.
100%. I mean, we talked about the Cypher when they were starting on attack. We talked about it being, not the most optimal pick, but you move into that defense side. And he went from, I think, second last on that leaderboard to topping the charts for the Saints there. And that's going to be it. I think that's 8 first bloods from Ems there at the starting of the round. And that's from, mostly from that op as well, but a lot of those rounds definitely came from Sheriff plays where he would just run out grass and somehow find 2 before being traded out, or even make it out alive with like 10 health. We saw Ems do that 5 times in the game. Find one pick, make it out somehow.
That's definitely a good play when you have to play off of pistols, just play as aggressive, as unexpectedly as you can and get that jump, and hopefully you secure a kill there.
Yeah, I mean, it's the reason we see a lot of teams make their eco round strategy, just send all 5 players down A, B, or C, and if they're not there, we rotate around and just play as a 5-man group, because it's either we're going to get sprayed down together or we're going to spray them down together, and there's really no other option in the end. But that's map 1 all done and dusted. We will return with Agent Select for map 2 on Lotus. Saints up 1-0 in the series, looking to make it 2-0. TMU looking to battle back on Lotus, maybe take us to that 3rd map there on Split. We're going to send it to a quick little break, join back with you when we're all ready for map 2.
I'm excited.
Agent select for map 2 Lotus. A map that we've been seeing a lot more now that I think a lot of teams are getting more used to it, having their comps built out on it, and this is what I love to see. You see two sides of this agent select, and it's not just the same five agents over and over again. FPS Rose was hovering up that Fade, is hovering up that Neon. Huns has locked in the Chamber as well. We've got Sean keeping with that Breach, but the Saints haven't really liked to play Breach on this map. We've seen teams that love to play Breach on this map. It's just the meta's still getting figured out, and I love when it's not just the same 5 agents over and over again. I know we'll probably hit that point eventually, but as for right now, the map is fresh, the comps are fresh, and we're seeing some amazing strategies to come through from teams, and varying strategies as well. The map with 3 bomb sites, it allows for a lot of different plays to come through. Of course, you got revolving doors as well that to play around. And
I'm just excited to see a Neon. I love seeing Neon gameplay. It's so fun, so fast, and I'm happy to see Chamber. Like Lotus is like one of the maps that Chamber can really excel on. There's lots of close quarters, zip through the walls, good placements. Exactly. Yeah, and you can watch that flank.
Even with the changes to Chamber, right? The one teleport, you kind of just teleport back to your main hub or your main, I don't know what you would even call it there. I think it's called the rendezvous, but you go back to your one satellite there, and then. But yeah, you take a look at the map, there's a ton of different options for the Chamber to kind of just hold an angle with the Headhunter, do exactly what Chamber loves to do, TP out, and you're back to one of your 3 bomb sites, back to your teammates there, and you've grabbed a pick or you've grabbed some damage and some intel. It's great to see. As much as, I didn't necessarily enjoy the Chamber meta, he was a character that kind of showcased skill.
Definitely.
So at the same time, it's awesome to see him back on some of these maps.
For sure. He was always fun to watch, with his ult is great, and he just had so many good tricks up his sleeve. We're seeing a huge stack on A from the Saints, by the way.
Yeah, and this is that Viper wall that we've seen the Saints use a few times on this map. 5's going to be the first one spotted out. M's looking to crack through this wall. I think he was spotted out by one player. FPS Rose getting pretty deep and is able to actually catch M super off guard. The snakebite comes through. It does chunk out FPS Rose a little bit, but you've found the one pick. You're one player up. Huns going to get shut down by that Ghost. The Headhunter not going to find its value just yet. Down to a 3v3. Gub half health.
It is looking weird for NECC?
Yeah, I believe it's NECC. So.
NECC has his work cut out for him here on B all by his lonesome. His team looks like he's coming to the rescue, and he gets the right click.
I mean, that's how you play with that classic there. You can do that on straight buy rounds, and the player running into that smoke not going to be ready. Gub, 50 health, definitely possible on the pistol round, but trying to make that retake happen by your lonesome just on the Sova as well. It's going to be tough, and this is one of those maps, too. We have seen Gub take up the Sova. Caillou start playing the Sky. I believe we did see Caillou play Sky a little bit, like briefly.
Yeah, like
during
1 or 2 games.
Yeah, the short stint kind of last semester before, he had to wait it out to come back onto that team. But going into this map, so many different roles kind of being taken. We've seen M's on the Omen here. 4-tapping, playing the classic controller for himself.
Looks like TMU's going for like Light Shields Vandals for most of the team here. So it's going to be hard for the Saints to play that range. But even at close range, NECC has that covered with that Ghost.
The Saints are on defense, but the starting of these rounds has made it feel like they're that attacking team. Going to pop through that smoke, and NECC is right ready for it.
You got to be careful with those smokes. First time, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice.
Yeah, that is the second time he's done that second round in a row.
Got to try, expect that now.
In the smoke. Just wait till he has a shorty in hand. That's going to be devastating. M's actually going to be the Omen with a shorty in hand, holding his own smoke here. Flash hits onto M's. They get the intel off of that. You don't know necessarily how deep M's is. NECC for 3 with this Frenzy right now. As there's people on his team with Vandals, and the Frenzy is going to be the gun that makes the most value here. M's can't get the reload off. Does get a little bit of damage, but overall, the second round, it's going to be one of those ones where pistol round wins, and that team is going to take it for this second round. Seth, maybe you can find one shot onto NECC here and grab a kill, but that's all you're really looking for at this point.
You want to try and Yeah, you definitely want to try and find one with a Vandal and try and save that. That would be huge for the team, but it's going to be tough for Seth to fight that, you know. Just getting rushed down with 2 Vandals when all you have is a Frenzy is not a good position to be in. Looks like TMU is going to buy guns again, going to have to buy light shields again so they can buy full buy the next round if they somehow lose. But Saints get almost, you know, more full of a buy with those shields. You know, one more teammate with full shields.
Yeah, that's true. They do get to carry over more, but it's the fact that TMU shouldn't even have rifles this round, right? They should be carrying over Spectres and maybe even a Bulldog from that last round, but those forces last round worked out well for them, and the one saving grace for the Saints is that NECC finding all of those kills means you don't have to worry about a Neon ultimate or a Sky ultimate here in the third round. It's not going to be up for TMU just yet, and TMU has to play a lot slower now that their Neon's been taken out this early.
I'd have to definitely agree with you there. Looks like they're playing pretty slow here, not rushing it down like the past 2 rounds that they have played. But Five's going to scout it out with the Skydog. Sees one.
Yeah, the Omen TP comes through. NECC actually going to miss all of those shots on Ems. Ems, do you make it out alive? 4 health. The Sky healing comes through. He should be back good for 100 there.
Looks like Huns took out Seth there, as we can quite see that. But it looks like Huns is doing a big push C. Yeah, he does not know that 4-tapping is here, I don't think.
The elevation on this C site makes the 1v1 so interesting, so tense, and suspenseful. You're waiting for one of these teams to make a sound cue, peek the wrong angle, or maybe get shut down by 4-tapping as Sean thinks it's safe, but is proved wrong in the end. As Huns shut down 1 mid as well. 4-tapping good for 2. Puts that snake bite. NECC secures the spike, brings it all the way back A.
Those Omen ults, I feel like, are so much more useful on the 3-plant sites, you know, just because you have to guess a little bit more.
And it's just a bigger map to deal with as well. Ems shuts down NECC as he tries to creep into that smoke. Not going to be accurate enough on the rope as
it's all down to 5s here.
Plant from 5s. You've got 2 players holding this. It should be easy for them to just stick this, play with that 3rd player. Not if 5s is going to be hitting headshots like that. Still have to tap this defuse. You're going to be able to stick it. He does find the kills in the end, but the round is secured.
Just a second too late on that spray, but that was a great play by 5s.
But look at the economy here. Saints, you lose all those players when you were finally able to buy. Not going to have much to work with. You're only saving grace. You're on defense.
Yeah.
Maybe you play these rounds a little less aggressive, and you might be able to find a player or 2 pushing into you. Huns has the ultimate available. It's already popped as well. Tour de Force is going to be essentially an op-in play as 4 rifles for the rest of the team. Saints going to have their work cut out for them here if they don't want to give TMU this 3-1.
Yep, we heard that chamber ult right away. 4-tapping, going for the huge share of shots. Gets 1, gets 2.
Wow. Just, I mean, this looks like a Call of Duty engagement, the way he's bobbing and weaving around this hill. Nobody knows where he's going to peek out from next. Has to make that reload happen. Can't make it happen in time. NECC and Huns push him.
He survived the Tour de Force right there through that sand mound.
Yeah, through the wall. I mean, that's what happens when you shoot through that wall. NECC just wide enough on that peak to be able to make Gub miss those shots, and he's able to find a headshot as well. Mzu Marshall in hand, trying to make a play, but 3-1 secured by TMU. TMU looking strong on Lotus so far.
They are definitely looking strong here. They are so far up on economy, and Saints are just scrounging, trying to get that, keep forcing and keep trying to get that, you know, kills and win at least 1 round to try and get that momentum shifted in their favor. But
and I mean, you have small moments of success. You have 4-tapping on the Sheriff, able to grab your 2 kills and get traded out. That's more than you can ask for with a Sheriff up into full rifles, especially up into a Tour de Force as well. But now you've got rifles, only half armor from this entire team, full utility from at least the Sky, full utility from 4-tapping. You're really going to have to play this out well, though, because even those Phantoms are going to be 1-tapping you with 125 available.
We're going to get Sky ult from that orb on 5s. That could prove to be very useful in this round. if they play their cards right. It's always good to have that ult in your back pocket, you know, scout out. It looks like their Omen is just going solo A for some reason, weirdly enough. But it looks like it is going to be a C push.
Yeah, we might actually have an Omen v Omen engagement here over on A. This Viper's Pit is super far up B mid area, kind of that it's splitting off the rotations from the side of TMU. They really have to choose A or C right now.
Yeah, their choices are definitely limited here by that snake pit.
Yeah, it's going to be... Now you're flashed up. They know there's at least 1 or 2 players there off of that flash, but the ultimates are popped. That's going to be the first Sky Trackers to come through. 1 for 1, FPS Rose down. Haven't gotten close enough for the plant just yet. 4v4 on this site. 2 players here, 2 players on the rotation from the Saints as the plant now going to start going down. Caillou gets a great angle on that plant. Great angle on the flash as well. He has his own trackers available. Could be good to pop them, but NECC's going to shut him down before it does come through. Actually, he might have used them out in the end. 4 tapping shuts down 5. Fives is able to get that plant, but it's all in vain when everyone gets cleared out in the end.
Definitely. That was a hard read by 4 tapping there. That was very clean. Heard that plant, got in position, saw where they were last time. Amazing.
Yeah, and it seems like that's going to be that default plant spot here, at least for that C site on Lotus. A. We have seen a few different spots on A, actually. We've seen players kind of plant it inside of the structure. We've seen them use that box, kind of like how it happened on the one round that the Saints did find that defuse on. And when it comes to B site, I don't even think I haven't personally seen a plant come through on B site. A lot of players seem to just use it as almost like a rotation area. It is just that central spot on the map.
Definitely.
Similar to Haven, you've kind of got one spot you can plant there, and if it doesn't happen, it's just going to be another hallway to use.
Definitely. There's just so many points that the enemies could come from for a defuse. I'm going to see FPS Rose spraying down that box, trying to clear C out for his team to make that push.
Just a pixel too far to the left to be able to find those nano swarms. I believe there's an alarm bot set up there as well.
Definitely.
TMU Blue. This is a pivotal round in the game. This determines whether you're going to keep the lead or if Saints is going to shut you down, leave your economy in the dust, and maybe start running away with a bit of a lead themselves if they can bring the momentum into these next few rounds. It's all going to come down to who finds this first blood, in my opinion.
Looks like it's going to be an A push, but Spike is still on B. So it's an interesting play here by TMU.
Paranoia on the retreat. M's going to secure himself life for the time being. Over outside A, still 3 players stacked up. Other side of this Viper wall. That breach is going to come by. I believe that's still Sean on that breach. He's coming by with the spike as well, pushing through this Viper wall. They're inching closer and closer towards this A site, closer and closer to that revolving door. Maybe this is the round we see a B play. They start funneling onto B. Neon's going to be in there in the blink of an eye, as you would expect from the Neon player. And the first pick is going to go towards NECC.
We're going to see that Killjoy ult from Seth going to clear out all of B, and it looks like they're going to have to rotate again. Oh, but Spike is already down. I did not notice that. That is a huge ult then, clearing sight completely. Sky v Sky, Fives does take that fight, and we're going to see Breach ult, and Fives cleans it up there for TMU.
Yeah, it's a great post-plant setup. I mean, you talked about how there's so many ways to retake from that site. There's also 4 ways to hold the site and shut down any kind of retakes. When you're holding 3 out of 4 of those entrances, you might have an idea where those the rest of those players are, possibly. But TMU going to be taking a 2-round lead now, shutting down the Saints' economy after that round as well. And, you know, padding there's a little bit. You got NECC 5,000 in the pocket, 3,600 for Sean. The Neon ultimate available, a judge in hand. This Neon FPS Rose, they're ready to get in there. They're ready to get close range and make things happen. There's going to be the ultimate. You got to find the reset on this one. You only find one with it, and Gub trades that back out. Gub with this classic, putting in the work. They know there's one more player there. Has to peek out Sean at the right angle. What a shutdown on this thrifty round. NECC stuck in the 1v2, spikes down. Gub makes it a 4K3 with a classic. Finish it off with a 1-tap.
That was an amazing save round by the Saints. That was just great.
Yeah,
that classic.
Now you get to go buy round for buy round back again with TMU Blue. And it's kind of the similar situation we saw in that second half of Haven, where no team can really build up an economy lead over the other. You have a few players like NECC who have a lot to work with, but they have to buy out this round. The money, the credits, looking fairly evened out throughout this game.
Yeah, Seth is willing to put in his money, though, invest in that op, and hopefully make good use of that on C.
Yeah, I think one of the things we're starting to see as Valorant, as we move later on into this game's life cycle, is a lot of people aren't just saying, okay, you need to op on a jet, you need to op on a chamber. Now, you've realized, okay, the op, it's a boomstick, it's essentially a one-shot. As long as you don't get traded out with it, you can still have that value on anyone. Someone like a Killjoy who's going to be holding down a site can maybe play around their utility in relation with that op and use the utility to make the openings for them rather than just a dash or a TP.
For sure. M's going to get the spray through the wall, but gets taken out by a reverse spray from Fives. We're going to see that Sky healing, taking out those the spray pellets that M's left in his wake. And we're going to see a very slow play by TMU. Looks like they're going to try and slow walk back to B. It's an interesting play. I think they want to play off B. They had lots of success. They have that Sky ult that they can use here.
Yeah, they've kind of moved back almost towards a default here. The rotating door is going to provide that rotation for the Omen, for NECC there. Prowlers or Seekers going to come out from the Sky. Shut down immediately, but that's going to give Sean enough time to find a wall bang onto 4-tapping. Shut that down. Fives ready for the peek from Caillou as well. Ooh. And all of the Saints fall as it's all Seth left. 1v4, only an operator in hand. Turns into the flash as well. With that first shot, or I think he shot him in the legs, actually.
Yeah, he got a foot shot right there. Right in the knees.
Never think the jump peak is going to come through until it does, and it shuts them down. TMU Blue still keeping this 2-round lead alive. And
now Hunts has an op. An op on Chambers. His whole kit is built around having an op, so that's pretty dangerous.
I mean, once it comes down to rifles v rifles, guns v guns, it looks like TMU is kind of just on the stronger end of it, at least here on Lotus. Obviously, we did see a lot of back and forth on Haven there, but here on Lotus, TMU seems to have this map just a little bit more figured out here, at least on the attacking side.
Definitely. FPS Rose getting that ult point and rotating back off, I think.
I mean, holding this hill is never a bad idea, though. I don't think so. You get to hold that push. You don't let the rotate happen towards B.
Especially on a movement-heavy character like Neon, you can just dance around that sand dune.
Dance around. You can use your sprint to kind of jump peek up and around it as well. I mean, we already see players use jump peeks with their knives. Having a Neon sprint just helps make it even faster, even swifter, and even harder to find the kill when you do swing out. Because there's always the chance that some player's just going to be insane and one-tap you on that jump peek.
For sure. TMU seems to be having so much success with these slow pushes here, you know, just taking their time, seeing what opportunities present themselves.
And taking their space.
Definitely, yeah. Playing to the advantage from when they have, you know, the rifles. We see Gub on that Sova ult. Does tag 1 or 2 there, but does not get enough for a kill.
When there's no Killjoy to worry about, you can kind of use that Hunter's Fury whenever you feel like you need it. Shock darts to come through as well, but with one player up, TMU has found the plant. FPS Rose not even needing to take that gunfight against Gub as NECC shuts them down. You can actually pick up the op if you're Caillou there. That's going to be big to bring into this next round, even if you do end up saving it out. But 2v3, the Saints feeling confident that they can make this happen. Ems with a bit of a fake TP there. Try and mess with the ears. Sean is just wiping players out on the server. 3 kills in the round. Shuts down Ems and Caillou's. Brings the op back into the hands of TMU Blue. And now you're up 6. You've secured at least an even half. And realistically, TMU, you're looking for more than that.
Definitely. I just can't believe, like, Sean, he has his moments. Like, when he has his moments, they're amazing. He, like, just gets a solid 3K out of nowhere. He's just minding his own business, helping the team, getting those concussions. Then out of nowhere, when he needs it the most, he'll get the most insane play.
And beyond that, he's just being this rock-solid breach for this team, using the aftershocks, using the concussions, getting the flashes in when necessary. Even if it looks like TMU and the Saints as well, actually. I mean, Saints having no breach here. They've been relying more so on the Sky Flashes here on Lotus. You still have them in the back pocket from Sean. You've got that there to clear out the back corner. The plant gets to come through from NECC, and the Saints have to make this 5-man retake because they can't afford to just keep getting picked off willy-nilly the way they have in these previous rounds.
It is going to be tough for them to retake this site, you know, just 5v5, it is hard when you're playing on such a close defense like you are here. NECC going to play in the smoke. Seth seeing if he can challenge it. Does not see NECC. And Hans with the op. It is not looking good for the Saints here.
TMU getting the better of most of these trades. Now you're at a health deficit. Hans shuts one down. Sean getting the flank onto Caillou, and it's a pincer maneuver that's going to end up with 7 rounds under TMU's belt. And now, TMU, you're feeling good to make maybe even the 9-3 happen here. Looking at the economy, Saints, I want to see if 4-tapping actually continues with this buyout here. All the way to 0. Do they want to make this force? The Saints looking to make it possibly 7-5. That's kind of what they're playing for at this point.
Yeah, I think you kind of just have to buy here, you know. You have to see if you can get that momentum back because it is not working out for them here. Going to see a couple sheriffs, a judge. They're going to have to play these close rounds, but with the tour de force active, it is going to be tough.
Rose and Seth just chunking each other out through the wall there. I think everyone's kind of figured out exactly where people play defaults on these sites now. 4-tapping, a Viper with a judge. All it takes is one team to walk through a Viper wall or a Viper smoke. You're vulnerable, you're snake-bited possibly, and then the judge can just start shredding through teams. Caillou looking to get the better of NECC, but NECC with that better weaponry and a wider swing. Caillou going to whiff that first shot with the Sheriff, and it means devastation as TMU once again makes this A push. A looking like that weak side from the Saints, and TMU have been able to just start capitalizing on it.
We got 3 holding that one sight line right there up on Heaven on A. But with Sean's breach skills, it is going to be tough to push here.
Sean actually takes a lot of damage from that shock dart, but Gub taking even more from the spray through the smoke here. Gub, you got to make sure you don't get sprayed out, but not ready just yet. Ems taking one at least to the grave. Sean shuts him down. Tour de force from Huns finishes off the round. 8-3. Saints, all you can wish for is an 8-4 now, but TMU Blue is looking dominant here on Lotus.
Definitely. It seems TMU have been practicing this map so much. They seem like they got such a good understanding of what they have to do. Their game plan is flawless. They are just on point this game.
Yeah, they've just been outclassing the Saints in terms of picks, in terms of first bloods, in terms of map positioning. It seems like, yeah, while the Saints are on defense, everywhere from above those like revolving door areas have just been all TMU's control. Saints haven't really been able to force TMU into making any unfavorable plays. TMU can kind of just run rampant, find the picks where they need them, and once they find 1 or 2, you know that site is going to be planted at.
NECC being very confident here, walking right into the Viper pit, and that confidence is not unfounded. Gets the kill on 4-tapping.
I think NECC at this point is just saying, okay, 4-tapping, I'm feeling better than you today, and I'm just going to challenge you at the start of every single round, because I think that's what we've seen. NECC v 4-tapping or NECC v Caillou there at the starting of almost every round. Now, you get that ultimate to come out from NECC. He gets a reposition here as the plant comes down, and might even be able to find a flank over onto Gub and Ems here as they play towards that A side, towards that B link there. Seth.
It's all down to Seth very quickly. It is going to be tough here. He gets one, but that is it. NECC going to clean it up with the 3K in that round.
9-3 half in the end. Is the curse real? That's the question, but with the momentum TMU Blue found at the end of that half, you would have to give up a lot of it. You'd have to really slow down just in terms of play, in terms of kills, to really have the Saints make this comeback. I mean, we could be looking at a map 3 here. Split, looking very possible on the horizon. Lotus, clearly a favorite from TMU Blue.
Definitely right here. We're back on a pistol round. Maybe the Saints have been practicing attack more. That could definitely be it. We could see a huge wipe. Maybe this map, I don't know this map very well. Maybe it's very attack-sided, but from what I know, it seems very defense-sided, so it's not looking good for the Saints here.
Yeah, you'd think a 3-site map usually lends itself to being attack-sided, but at the same time, we're going to have to see what the Saints can really do if FPS Rose gets a aggressive enough of a start or NECC shuts down Caillou. Like I said, it's just been NECC versus Caillou or NECC versus 4-tapping at the starting of every round. And once again, TMU just getting the better of these trades. Seth, the only one left, spotted out by the tripwire there as well. Flash to come through. No more bullets in the clip. Sean finishes that one out. 10-3. TMU looking to make it 11. Saints might have to do one of their forces here. Let's see what they opt for.
You're definitely going to have to force here. Maybe you try and save and try and play. Make sure it does not get to round 11 or round 12 here. Caillou going to buy that Sheriff, and we're going to see 4 other frenzies. We've seen what those frenzies can do in the right hands.
That's very true. We have seen the frenzies. I believe it was NECC who really put in the work on the frenzy there. But, I mean, the question is it too far gone at this point? That's the big looming threat for the Saints right now is 7 rounds up. TMU, eventually there's going to be save rounds that have to come through from the Saints. TMU just has to play these out perfectly. This is what happens when you throw 5 pistols down. You overwhelm that player, maybe even pick up a gun for yourself. It looks like they did pick up that Guardian. Sean playing farther back. But most of the Saints have just moved back out towards A long there.
I think that is definitely the play. You just got to try and... Oh, my gosh!
Caillou shuts down FPS Rose on a bunny hop in the air. Gub taking some damage from the molly. He is able to find one. Sean with the trade out there. 2v2. Spike still ticking down. Seth is able to play pretty slow here, but you're running out of bullets on that frenzy. Sean for 3 in the round. 4-tapping. No more utility to work with. Poison on the bomb there. Has to shut down this defuse. The taps come out.
He does.
The timing could be good. Sean knows he doesn't have that timing. Pistol round. Going to go the Saints' way. 10-4 to start this one out.
I am hoping for a sweep comeback here. I would love to see it. It is going to be tough. They definitely needed to win that round to have any chance of winning the rest of this game.
And the beautiful part about that force there is that technically it was a force, but nobody had more than pistols. It was a pretty, just an eco round, actually.
Definitely.
Not really a force, I would say. I mean, yes, they didn't have much to work with, but they kept it in line enough to be able to buy rifles this round. And now TMU going to be on the receiving end of a full buy as they only have a Marshall and some Stingers to work with.
It definitely could be dicey for TMU, but it looks like with the pistols, they're going to play very aggro. But 4-tapping, playing the backside right there, gets one, gets taken out by Hans with the Marshall. Seth going to take out FPS Rose. And NECC gets the jump on Seth.
Wow, NECC not going to fall in the end there, and that Stinger bursting out. More damage than you'd think. Flash comes through. It's going to hit Caillou as well. A little bit, popped just a little bit too early there.
I think NECC now has a Vandal as well. That is...
Yeah, I think he did pick that up.
It's going to be hard for the Saints to fight that, but with 5 health, he may be able to get a couple picks out of here.
I mean, you're on the attack. You have options to move out here. The problem is that spike that was on 4-tapping when he fell. Flashes have to come out. NECC on the swing with 5 health. He's putting in the value here in the round. They know where Huns is at. This should be all Saints' way, and Gub does shut him down. 2nd kill in the round. Now you've won 2 rounds straight. TMU should be able to put a buy together. TMU, you're only looking for 3 right now to finish off the entire game and bring us to a map 3. Saints, you're going to have to make a huge comeback happen still if you want this 2-0 victory here in the NECC.
I have definitely been there, though. I have been at 10 wins, and then the enemy team just turns on and comes back.
We saw a 9-3 half to come through from TMU. Attacking side could be more favored. Like we said, I think it's still to be determined. I think it depends on the comps as well. I'm sure there's some analyst who has already broken it down 100%, and it's like, no, attackers win 54.35% of the time, and things like that will definitely make a difference. And of course, analytics are very important, but at the same time, it comes down to this specific game, these two teams versus one another, who's better on which side as well.
Definitely. I think they have sussed out Hans does have an op just based on the money, and they are trying to bait out that op shot so they can make a push here. But Hans is holding that very closely. Sean holding the back end, going for a flank. Hans going to get one. Caillou going to flash. It does not get anything. Hans just doing work with that op.
Yeah, TMU consistently staying one player ahead of the Saints on all of these trades, and then FPS Rose gets the headshots to finish it off, and even now, only 2 Saints have cracked double-digit kills. Nobody from that Saints side positive in this game, and you've got a player like NECC on the Omen who is just showing out here. He was solid on Haven, don't get me wrong, but has absolutely turned it up coming into Lotus here.
He has been using that shorty we see him have in his hand, or that's M's, never mind. But he's hoping to get some of that NECC magic, play close in that smoke, and try and get a kill here.
I mean, it works pretty well on a lot of these angles here. Huns spotted out with the op, not able to find a shot. He does just TP out. Now the Saints have a bit of an idea, but a paranoia actually ends up landing onto Seth and Gub there. Really slows down that push that they tried to set up. Fives, Huns, everyone from this side of TMU is now ready for the Saints.
They have made a full rotation over to C in record time. 4-tapping going to get tagged out, and Spike is now behind the door, and it's all up to Caillou. And FPS Rose uses Neon ult to clean it up there.
TMU made it to match point, and at this point, Saints, you have to win, what, 7 rounds straight just to bring it to overtime. TMU might as well already have this victory in their back pocket. I mean, the Saints, never done, don't count them out, but TMU is just looking unstoppable here on Lotus. You've even found 3 now on this defensive side, and
with the Saints having 3 with light shields, it is going to be very, very, very tough.
And you've still got Huns with that operator on the chamber. He's so safe on the initial peak, and then even later on in these rounds, after the initial peak with no teleport ready, Huns has been good for 1 or 2. FPS Rose can't make it out initially, but the first pick comes through. 4-tapping falls to Huns, and the trades once again just go straight in the advantage of TMU Blue. That Odin from Fives putting in work. We didn't really see Fives on the Odin too much last game, but he's going to pick it up here.
We definitely did not see the Odin as much in this map as we did in Haven, but it looks like we're seeing it as their favorite in this last round here. Or possibly last round, unless the Saints can find something here. Gub does get one. Seth going to use that double door.
Pops that revolving door. He is going to make it towards the other side there. 1 player crossed, that being Gub, but you're still in a 2v3. They've still got so much information on you. Gub, the last player left in the 2v1, up against an Odin.
Ooh.
Has to try and break through that door. Can't make it. 3K from Fives with the Odin to finish off this game. And TMU Blue looking insane over there on Lotus. Just shut down the Saints with everything they tried to do. There was really no point where the Saints could just get a foothold in that game.
Yeah, that was a very, very tough round for the Saints. Just TMU just had everything on lockdown. They had good offense, good defense, just good aiming, good ability usage. They were just on point in that game.
And just great, almost like just knowledge of the map
Yeah.
in general. You know, you've got a player like NECC holding in his smokes, knowing, okay, somebody has to cross through here eventually. They have to kind of make that risk of crossing through the smoke. I'm just going to be waiting here, ready to right-click, ready with my frenzy, whatever it may be. And all game, Saints just 2 steps behind, not even 1 step behind, 2 steps behind almost every single round, and just couldn't really manage to get anything done. TMU showing us, you know, maybe maybe Lotus has starting to get figured out by a lot of these teams. They definitely have a solid foundation there on that map, and they're taking us to game 3 here. They're taking us to map 3 split. That's going to be the decider. We're going to send it to a quick little break and join back with you for the deciding map of this best of 3.
Welcome back, everybody. We are on third map on Split. Looks like we are going to see NECC on Astra. It's the first Astra I think we've seen today.
Yeah,
and
Astra's back. Astra's back at least for this map. You see 4-tapping picking it up as well. And
yeah, it seems to be the pick lately. You know, Astra's very strong if you can play her right, but she does leave a lot of vulnerability when she's placing smoke. She's not as dynamic
100%.
as, you know, an Omen or even a Viper has, I feel like, more.
Yeah, I think Split is one of those maps where the Astra can kind of be safe, as you can kind of play whether it be back behind C, down heaven stairs there, or kind of just over towards the spawn or towards that CT spawn, and you're not really too worried about getting pushed unless, you know, there was some insane push up mid where then they just flood out into your spawn. But you usually can get kind of that map-wide presence from the Astra, at least here on Split. But yeah, I agree. Like, still vulnerable 100%, and you really have to pick when to place those stars. And yeah, you can place all your stars early, but then you're kind of almost just making a read on the round.
You're revealing everything what you can possibly. I think you can. Can you pick them back up? I think you can.
I believe you can. I think it's just a cooldown. Yeah.
Ooh, that's an interesting cage I just saw from Sean. Yeah.
Sean's actually, it's Sean on the Cypher this time as well, not on the Breach there. I mean, Breach, not going to be too common on this map to begin with, but we are seeing some varied picks. We do see the Astra, the Viper, the Sky from both teams, but then you've got the Raze here. Ems ends up kind of blundering those blast packs there. Not going to be as deep as he initially thought he was. NECC, this could be the flank of a lifetime here. Break through this wall, but the Saints are ready for it. FPS Rose shuts down 2. NECC still on the flank. Saints, you got to hear those ropes at some point. Gub able to trade it out, but Huns shuts them down in vents.
That was disastrous for the Saints right there. That just eviscerated their entire team right there with that one frenzy. And now it's all up to Caillou, just trapped in vents right here.
Yeah, they tried to make that explosive play. It didn't work out for them, and now Caillou stuck trying to retake this bomb, stuck trying to tap people out with a frenzy. You've got one flash. It actually hits all 3 players there, but everyone is able to get back behind cover and kind of just bait out Caillou for that peak. It was almost inevitable as you're in a 1v3.
TMU was waiting there like a bunch of sharks waiting for
just herding around that, herding around the spike.
Like a stranded dolphin.
It's unfortunate. They try to go for, you know, the Raze start there, get maybe a pick up ramp, and then start to push that, whether it be the rotate through vents there, whether that was in the initial plan or if it was just an A take in the initial plan. Either way, it all kind of fell apart, and NECC just making these confident plays throughout this entire series that I don't think the Saints and really any other team would be ready for. You don't think that Astra is just going to follow you all the way to the ends of the earth, and you don't think that Astra is going to be finding first blood in almost every single round as well, but NECC somehow finds a way to do it. Now you've got 2 players into heaven.
Looks like we're seeing a lot of Bulldogs here from TMU.
Wow, the jumping headshot from Huns. He shuts one down, shuts down a second. That's enough kills, I think, for Huns to be able to pick up an op next round as well. That
was amazing from FPS Rose right there, just cleaning up the kills that were set up by him from Huns right there. That was very clean.
Look at Huns. Look what's in his hands. Operator. I mean, the second I saw Huns with the frenzy last round, it's just in the back of your mind, you know the operator is going to come through at some point during this round.
It looks like he sold it and bought a frenzy again. Oh, he's trading that for an Odin.
He's just having
he's
fun
shuffling through a bunch of weapons right here. It looks like the Saints are going to be able to buy rifles here, try and get their first real round under their belt here after the pistol round and subsequent round.
Yeah, I think TMU kind of just had a little bit of like a micro agreement there. They're like, okay, we're not going to buy out the op this round. We'll keep all of our economies up above 2,000, 2,500, and even if we do lose this, we're able to buy out next round, match up whatever the Saints end up having in their hands. But for right now, the Saints have a bye, and this is when you really need to make this 2-1 before TMU just continues their streak of momentum that they've found on these past 2 previous maps. Honestly, even with Saints taking the first one, the momentum was there from TMU.
Definitely. Huns holding that back corner with that judge, hoping someone pushes him like that. I think that was a 1 burst by Huns, but Caillou takes out Huns. And it's all down to FPS Rose here. 1 health on that decay, back to 21 health. A bulldog in a dream. Can he make something of this? Can he damage the Saints' economy enough to make this round worth it?
That's the question. You've got such a tough position here. There's double controllers from the side of the Saints still up. You've still got Seth here holding down ramp. He spots out the shoulder, actually, and is able to just set up the turret. FPS Rose. Now you can't even peek that corner because you're going to take, what, 12 damage from the turret, be stuck at 8 or 9 when after all is said and done there.
Definitely.
FPS Rose. Yeah, I mean, you have to try and find an exit, but you're not going to find it here. Maybe just end up dying to that bomb there. Get a little bit more money going into next round, and now Saints take the first one on their bye round. TMU ready to match right up with their own buys.
Definitely. It is an interesting game so far, you know. Not totally steamrolling as we've seen the last two. I think the Saints won the first couple rounds on the last map, but it quickly turned around there for them. As much as they would have liked for that not to happen. Looks like we're going to see a lot of Phantoms on the Saints side. Same for TMU, but Huns is going to be on that op finally.
Yeah, I mean, he was going to make the light armor buy with that op last round. Decides to save it up, buy a judge instead. He did find one with the judge before being taken out, the one that TMU was able to find for the entire round. And now you've got the op. Now you can pretty well just hold down A site by your lonesome and leave B to be where the rest of this team is stacked up. You've got that Viper over towards mid as well. And the Saints have yet to really grab too much intel. You do have M's pretty deep up garage, as we could see maybe even a 1v1 happen, but FPS Rose pretty far up mid, flashed up by Caillou. Caillou gonna make the pick off of his own flash there. Might have to move through this Astra smoke, though.
Did see that Sky ult there by Caillou, but I think that was just, you know, just a reaction trying to get out of there safely, make sure, take the pressure off of them so they can rotate A here. Huns gets blinded, does not get the op shot. He does have blades online if he needs to play those close ranges. Ems takes out NECC, who was lurking.
At this point, Huns may just have to keep this op in hand, may just have to bring it towards that next round. You know what Huns is not ready for? Oh, or he is ready for it. Yes, he is ready for that. Huns shutting down Ems. Ems none the wiser of Huns being there. I mean, that was a long rotation to make from A. Ems, it looked like Ems thought he was just going to be able to have a much deeper flank before meeting any TMU members, and Huns proved him wrong in the end there.
Huns definitely met him there on that flank.
Oh, yeah.
It's all Deshaun is trying to find a safe exit here, and he does find one on his way out here. Huns definitely going to want to save that op. You don't want to lose out on that investment so early. And maybe
Huns
try and play for exits here?
Maybe one or two, actually. He's still walking pretty loud. Huns shuts down 4 tapping, leaves it 2 for 2 at the end of the round. I mean, when you're expecting 4 guns to come away with the Saints at the end of the round, finding 2 is massive.
Definitely, definitely. It has put a wrench in their economy, and we're going to see a timeout from TMU. Strangely enough, they didn't win that round. Never mind.
No, yeah. They did not win that round after.
That makes sense now. I was a little confused, but now it makes sense.
Yeah, there still was a spike explosion. I think they just have to determine now what they're going to buy here, because they do have, I believe, I can't even remember. I keep thinking about Fives on the Cypher, but it's Sean this round.
Yep.
Fives not going to have anything in hand. It's Sean and Hums to have the guns here. I think it's just going to be the question of what is the rest of the team going to put together to support these 2 players here. They're going to have to be the main ones you're looking for to make the plays happen here in this round. Maybe bring yourself to a third. Try to bring yourself to the lead. The Saints keeping rifles going strong for this whole team. And
definitely, you got to definitely be careful about your economy in this game. You know, it's so easily forgotten, but the economy plays such an important part on the outcome of your matches. You know, if you buy too much on one round, you can't buy the next. You might need to win that round. It's much more in depth.
Yeah, and I mean with the amount of thrifties and like half buy wins we've seen in this whole series up till now, at this point, I'm convinced buys mean nothing. But, you know, you've seen an op on one side, you see an op on the defense side, you see a shorty and a blade storm from Huns. You're expecting something to come through for them. But then again, I mean, we've seen 3Ks from frenzies. We've seen Guardians bring entire rounds home. It really just depends on the player at this point. And 2-2, we're as even as we can possibly get here.
With St. Clair versus TMU, you never know how these rounds are going to go. Can't just base it on the guns. Gub going to make a slow push. NECC waiting right by that wall, playing super close with that frenzy. Does not find anything. Ems takes him out.
Doesn't even find a shot.
I know, it's very unlucky.
Yeah, 3 players just right up in his face, unable to find the value you want from the frenzy. The Bladestorm is popped. If you can shut down Huns early in this round, or at least early in this retake, if you don't let him get the Bladestorm resets, you're looking solid on this post plant. But FPS Rose with the operator shuts down Seth from afar. 2 kills to come through. The trades come back, though. That's op down. Sean, the only one left, sprayed out through the top. Takes a little bit of damage. Might just have to be happy with an exit or 2 here. He does find Ems in the 1v2, dangerously low himself.
4-tapping, yeah. 4-tapping is so low. It is maybe possible for Sean if he does not get shot here at all. Going to try and save the op, but 4-tapping had eagle-eyed right there.
Yeah,
I mean, he was going to try and make that exit.
They have to try and grab that op in the end. They have to try and keep this economy in check for themselves, and they should actually be able to squeak out another buy here, but squeak out is the word I'm going to use because they're very, very close to not having some utility for a few of these members. It looks like Sean is still going to be good to set up around A and a few other players towards B. It's actually going to be a 3-stack closer to A right now.
Yep, and it looks like we got 2 Astra ults online, a Cypher ult, and we have that Raze ult. That is so exciting.
Showstopper.
We might see it in play this round. We might not. We shall see, but we will see that. Oh, the ults are being popped off. But Ems gets taken out by the judge. That is so unfortunate.
I mean, it's a, let's just say that's a risky play to make.
Definitely.
You assume that everyone is just going to move off of that wall, but with judges in hand, they kind of, actually, those ultimates did bait most of the team towards B as the spike can maybe get this plant down A.
But they're
Snake
down
Bites are
in
going to come
numbers.
through. They're down 1 player, yeah, and there is a Cosmic Divide from TMU and a Viper's Pit as well to work with. No longer 1 player up, and it's an even fight here for this retake. Caillou going to be the one playing that A main, shuts down Sean as he tries to peek out of screens there. This is the flank from NECC that we've seen so often. Caillou good for the second, knows NECC is behind him, jumps through with the shorty, finds the 3rd. That's going to be the 4th round to come through for the Saints. Caillou putting it all on his back on that post plant.
Caillou was on point right there, did everything he needed to do, got all the shots there. That shorty, that was through the wall too. That was very exciting.
I mean, he saw, or whether he saw or he heard the shots from behind him, NECC tried to find right through that pixel, wasn't able to land anything on Caillou. Caillou finds the other one onto Sean on site, and you're able to just instantly turn around, and that shorty play was definitely a, let's say it's an executive decision to make for yourself there, but it works out in the end, and Caillou shuts that one down with a 3K. Now we get to move in towards this next round. It's an eco buy from TMU as they're just going to shove everyone down mid. Huns pretty close up here. The Nano Swarm is going to do enough damage along with Seth's body shots to take down Huns.
And that is 2 from TMU right out of the gate. You know, now they're 3 versus 5 is going to be tough here.
3 versus 5 down on guns as well.
And now it's 2 versus 5 down on guns. And with a little bit of health taken out of 5s, it is looking good for the Saints here. Ems watching that mid push. That is a key grenade right there. The turret gets the kill.
The util combo. Turret to pick up the 3rd for Seth in that round. Spots out FPS Rose at the top of mid here. They know exactly where this player is going to be. 4K to Seth. Little bit of redemption after a slow series for himself, but picks it back up with, shuts down that push mid, is able to use that turret to its fullest potential, not only grabbing a kill, but grabbing the intel for the final kill as well. Now you've got that lockdown ready off of all of that as well. And Caillou is actually 1 point away from his Seekers.
It is definitely looking good for the Saints right now. They are up 5-2. They are up on money. 5s is 1 point away from that ult. And they do have Astra ult, so they could get something here if they do get the picks that they need.
They could definitely play this out there's a way that they play this out where they don't have to use too much resources and can still squeak out this win. The question is, how much is TMU willing to use for this round? You've already kind of allowed this attacker killjoy ult, Ceph's ultimate here, to be used up. Ems pushes out, gonna be shut down by FPS Rose. FPS fights 2. Can you make it a 3rd? What a scuffle over towards mid, but FPS Rose makes it out with 3 kills and 30 health. Caillou, the last one alive, and Huns shuts it down, shuts down the last 2. A flawless win right back to the Saints.
After you burn a Killjoy ult, that is not what you want to see. That is so unfortunate. Just FPS Rose was on point with that spray control.
Yeah, I mean, they were not ready for somebody to be playing up mid there. They were waiting. It looked like everyone peeked out for vents there. Even after the first kill came through, the second player peeks out towards vents. FPS Rose finds that insta-headshot with that flick, and then it was just kind of a shaky spray transfer that ends up finding the 3rd kill as well. M sets up for this explosive start, shut down by NECC, as NECC is just so aggressive on the defense, so aggressive on this Astra. We've seen it from every character they play, whether it's been the Omen or blanking on the first character they actually played in that first map as well. 4-tapping shuts down Five's mid, but not after he takes down Ceph.
Huns won, but with that op, any opponent he has is one shot as well. I think 4-tapping or Grub had a feeling that op is not good to push. That is a tough angle to challenge right there. Yeah. Looks like they're going to have to rotate onto A and challenge Sean here.
No armor left from the side of the Saints. Both players under 100. Gub pretty well one shot, as 4-tapping has maybe 2 to his name. Sean holding down this corner. I've seen this many times. And wow, he's not able to find the second. Sean, usually good for those taps. It's a body shot to come through in the end. 6 health. This snake bite just needs to land at the right spot, and 4-tapping is all but gone. However, makes a interesting rotation decision here. Actually might be able to find this flank, but FPS Rose ready. Hears those footsteps as well. 4-tapping making the long rotate A, but followed by both TMU members alive.
Rose must know that 4-tapping is just so low. They're playing so aggressively here. Takes out Huns.
All you need is a headshot here.
Play close, get a headshot. It is down to the wire here for 4-tapping. And he just peeks out a little too early, and FPS Rose catches him off guard.
Does get the first bullet, but the turnaround after the missed headshot is just going to mean disaster. It's going to spell death for 4-tapping, as only 6 health to his name. Close to making that 1v2 happen. FPS Rose shuts him down in the end. 10-4 in the game right now, and bringing TMU closer and closer to evening out this scoreline. Saints still up 1 round after 5 straight for themselves, but TMU starting to make strides themselves.
Interesting pick from 4-tapping here to stick with the light shields and just to conserve that extra money. They must be saving up for something. Cooking up something good. 4-tapping has the ult. Gub also has the Viper Pit ready. And TMU Rose, I think, missed the one-way right there, but that's okay. Because Huns is watching that with an op.
1's for 1. Huns dashes in pretty close with that op, but even with that, you miss the one-way, but you still do have that smoke available right there. It is still going to deter these Saints players from pushing for as long as you can. 1 for 1 now. Cosmic Divide is up from 4-tapping, but you do see Seekers. You do see Cosmic Divide available for TMU Blue as well.
I think it's, is it up or are they play? Oh, that's the Viper wall. Never mind. It looks like they're going to have to try and rotate here, because those B pushes are not working anymore. They had success with them, but it is not seeming to work anymore. Ceph sticking around, trying to get a pick on a rotate, maybe trying to make them think that they're still going B. But Caillou going heaven. Fives gets 1. Is he good for 2?
Keeps spraying. Gets caught with his flash out. Traded out by 4-tapping, but NECC always there for the trade, always there for the kills, is just here to pad those stats at this point. They even them out 5-5. TMU Blue found 3 rounds straight. Maybe we're going to see another 6-6 half here.
Definitely, it is close. These matches are getting
possible.
very close. Aside from Lotus, the new map, it is close here. These teams are very evenly matched on the maps that they have the most experience with. It is a good game. It is back and forth, exciting. Both teams are just playing pretty well, you know, pretty damn well.
Yeah, 4-tapping sticking with light armor in the end here, but other than that, full buys to come out for the entire side of the Saints. Ems looking to make this satchel play up ramp. Not going to get any shots there through the spam. Huns doesn't want to reveal themselves just yet. Wants to keep this op for the element of surprise if they can.
Looks like they're trying to. Looks like the Saints are trying to take control of A Heaven here, but it is looking to be a tough task with 3 TMU holding this. It's a 3v3 here.
And a tripwire up from Sean. Like, what a peek into the corner. NECC, it's like he knows where they are. Caillou trades it back in the end, but still 1-for-1 and still no space gained for the Saints. Caillou and NECC now opposite corners of this box. NECC, that's the first spray I think he hasn't found a kill from. Gub able to shut him down there. Now you're 1 player up. Seekers are going to start coming onto site here, but you should be able to just shut them down fairly early. Caillou not even spotted out by the Seekers themselves. Choosing 3 other players. Caillou kind of gets to keep the element of surprise here from under Heaven. Bladestorm pop from Huns, and this is where the round really starts.
Definitely the pressure is on for TMU to try and get the defuse off. 4-tapping shoots through the box. Just pixels away. He did hit him, but I think it must have been a chest shot through the box.
A leg
shot. Caillou gets 1, but trades it back up. And 4-tapping cleans up the round. The Saints need that. They at least got half in the first half.
Yeah, you needed that if you're the Saints. With how tight this game has been so far, you do not want to just be, even if it's 1 round, right? Even if it's a 7-5, or you just don't want any kind of disadvantage coming into that second half. And now you've at least guaranteed the 6-6. The force is going to come out from both sides here. Just get as much into play as you can here for this last round. Huns going to have another operator. This guy's out at ops 3 rounds straight, even while dropping them. That just shows the kind of economy that TMU built up, and it shows that Huns is going to be able to make their mark in these rounds, find the first blood. That's going to be Viper down from the Saints as well. That is a lot of their pressure on these attacks shut down. Now it's all going to be up to the Astra to split up these other players. A well to shut down Ems, and TMU looking to make it 6-6. Huns keeps making these trades happen. Huns, jump shots are insane all game. 3 kills for him, and Sean finishes off the round there.
And it's tied up going into the next half. This is a wild game.
I mean, Huns is an exciting player to watch, to say the least. I think we've seen this guy in each map have a round that he's able to finish off by jump peeking somebody with a frenzy, with a vandal, and now with an operator. He has made it happen. The element of surprise, I mean, who jump peeks in Valorant is the question. It's not Call of Duty, yet somehow Huns makes it work.
Transferring those skills over to Valorant for sure. It looks like we're seeing ghosts from TMU, mostly frenzies from the Saints, and some shields. This pistol round could very well decide how the rest of this game and series goes.
Yeah, 100%. Saints, you've now flipped over to the defense. You get to take a slower approach to this. You do have still got that double controller, and you do have that Killjoy as the Sentinel rather than the Cypher from the side of TMU. Cypher to fall early. It's Sean, a standout player from TMU. That's a good first pick to find. Still got to worry about Huns, though. We've seen what they can do with this frenzy. Huns shut down by Gub. A nice headshot to come through. Trades back and forth. Ems using that paint grenade. Going to get pushed out from it. Damage onto 5s, but can't finish it off. Not enough ammo in the clip.
Just barely not enough to secure that kill. Rose holding B Heaven with Spike, hoping to pick off 1, hoping to hear them rotate back. 4-tapping, knowing that 1 is probably Heaven, holding that angle very closely. Rose back to mid. Mid's a very good spot to be in on split. You know, you just have so many paths open to you as long as they, you know, the main points are clear.
Four tapping, waiting for that to happen, waiting for Rose. You see the snake bites come out, you know exactly where that player is, and he just has to... The thing is, too, is Fives just kind of walked by onto the site, thought it was clear, I guess, in the end, as Four tapping just gets to sit in the corner and wait for his prey to come into his line of sight.
Yeah, looks like we're going to see all Spectres from the Saints here. Oh, one Bulldog, but it is an interesting buy, and TMU looks like it's going for a full save is what you got to do after a pistol round like that. We are going to see one judge from Ems, maybe hoping to get that blast pack, goofy moves.
Either that or just maybe just waiting for some goofy heaven plays here as he just holds a corner possibly.
True.
I mean, you know these TMU players, they're not going to push past that Viper wall. They don't want to make the mistake of getting halved up on health and walking into better weaponry that they have in hand. Huns pushes into heaven here. He does spot out Seth, but exchanges some damage. Not able to get any on Seth, just take some themselves. The heals have to come through from the sky. They bring NECC back into the game here, but as of right now, the Saints kind of just get to play the war of attrition, make the better of these initial peaks, get chip damage to come through. Now you've got Spike down and a judge holding the angle. Caillou for most of those kills, and Ems finishes that last one off. Huns, not sure where he actually died to Seth. I think that was over towards A site there. I think he was still chilling in heaven.
Yeah, I'd have to agree there. That judge did not see the plays that we wanted, but that was a key angle to hold. If Caillou did not land those Bulldog shots, I'm sure Ems would have cleaned it up there.
That's the thing. The auto shotty, you assume at some point you're going to get a good chunk of damage there. But Caillou, the right click on the Bulldog is so good against unarmored enemies as well. It's a triple burst. You can burst to the body. You hit one headshot, and it's like they're deleted out of the server in the blink of an eye. Ems now switching up where he's going to play on this judge. This could be a big pick to make, especially if you can recover a rifle here. Sean shuts down Caillou, and he is going to be shut down. But rifle might not be able to be recovered. Ems has to make the decision to just rotate back out, take the pick that you found, take the trade that you found, as Caillou did fall to Sean earlier.
Yeah, you definitely can't. It's not worth risking your life just to get that rifle when that judge is working out for you. You did get one kill, but definitely TMU is going to have to try and play off of knowing that they can't take those close angles. They have to play those angles slow, as we're seeing here. NECC checking all of those corners, making sure it's safe for his team to push into A heaven. Seth holding sewers, watching that rotate. There's a tripwire.
The Cypher's down. He doesn't have to worry about it. Got to check close left here. Fives spotted out by Seth on the flank. Seth should be able to get a weapon upgrade off of that as well. So they hold down this site. Seth gets shut down from ramp. NECC low, though. Ems, all you need is a tick of damage. It's the 3K from the judge.
Holding on to that judge was definitely the right play there. It worked out great for them.
Now we have another situation similar to that Haven game where the Saints have won the pistols. They've won the one round after, and now you're 3 rounds up. The economy is not looking good for TMU. You almost have to bank on a thrifty win here for TMU to at least not have such a huge round deficit here. At the same time, look at the economy from the Saints. You've got 2 players over 5K and more people just waiting to make more buys as these rounds come through.
TMU is definitely at the disadvantage here in weapons, but we have seen it before. They play these pistol rounds amazingly. We will have to see some magic, though, as the Saints do have full armor and full rifles. Huge mid push from TMU, but gets taken out by the Ems grenade there.
Paint shell taking out those last ticks of damage onto NECC. That's Astra down for the side of TMU. Blue, as they're now just kind of sitting here mid, not knowing exactly what push they want to make. They've pushed up pretty far long, but Rose can only go so far as he's covered by his wall. Now it looks like Sean's going to be making his way up vents here. But Seth waiting for that as they knew those players are mid. Seth with the turn onto FPS Rose. FPS Rose didn't have the gun to make that happen. And it's still 5 players up from the Saints. You've got Seth playing over towards A. You've also got 4 tapping there. Ems out here in spawn, 4 tapping from A. A flawless round as they shut down that save. And now, Saints, a lot of economy to work with. You've won these gun rounds earlier. You just have to make it happen again, and you can run away with this game right now.
It is looking dire for TMU here. They have to win a round here soon. I think they're getting up on cash here. They have enough for a full buy. They've lost so many rounds in a row. That money is adding up, but the Saints are sitting so comfortably in money. Their econ is so high. We see double 7Ks on the board right here. It's going to be tough for TMU to come back from this, even if they do win. It looks like a split push here, mainly heading towards mid here from TMU, but Caillou going to suss that out with his dog. Counter dog, the concuss goes off. They know
it's 2 as well.
2 as well, yeah, that is a good dog by TMU. Hun's holding that angle, but gets blocked off by the after. Oh, as soon as it's up, it is down. They are playing this very slow and methodically. Sean gets 2. Caillou gets 1.
That was through Garage. He's able to shut down the 2 players, actually anchoring the B site. Now, Caillou not going to get fooled by that drop from Rose. However, you're still 1 player holding down this site as you have to wait for Seth to make this rotation. 3 players going to drop on you from heaven, but he's still concerned about Garage. What a headshot. Caillou, good for 3 in the round. On for the ace. No util left from Caillou. Might have to wait out for another flash to come in. Seth shut down in heaven. No info going to be grabbed from that. NECC finds 2 kills, and that's the first of the half for TMU.
TMU definitely needed to win that round. It is looking much more winnable for them. They are definitely going to be up money here. It is
up money, but maybe not even in the position to make a buy. I think NECC can buy out a rifle for somebody there. Fives gonna have a hard time getting some higher tier weaponry in hand. However, take a look at the Saints. When you win 4 rounds straight, you build up such an economy that even after all is said and done, 4 tapping at M's still sitting up around 5,000 after that lost round, after losing every single rifle in the round. We've got an ultimate available as well. Showstopper deep is going to do some damage onto FPS Rose. That Roomba going to just be covering that attacker's spawn as Huns takes their space mid. Spots one out. Actually, spots the shoulder of Seth. Not sure if they want to repeat that one. Rose shut down M's, though, over towards spawn, and that means A site is go, go, go for the side of TMU. You can see everyone making this instant rotation. FPS Rose sets up their utility to start off this push. Snakebite up towards heaven, too.
They have Viper Pit as well, and that is going down on A near screens. They have such good sight control right now, and they are up a person. It is not looking good for the Saints. We do see the Sky ult. Gub gets 1, evens it up. Seth spraying down that box, hoping to get 1, gets 1. It is a tight match right here.
The only thing right now is all of this relies on FPS Rose. 4K in the round through the Viper's Pit. 2 players just too low from that decay, and that's 2 rounds straight for TMU. Now, yeah, like you said, that 7th round was so necessary for them, because if they don't find that, Saints just get the momentum. They get 11. They continue that moving forward. But as the guns stay in TMU's hands and FPS Rose has a stellar round on that attack, utilizing everything Viper has to offer.
Yeah, that was a great Viper Pit. Yeah, for sure. It's looking tougher for the Saints. They now can't buy full shields even. Yeah, they have to play pretty aggressively here.
Caillou shuts down Huns through that wall there. It was just kind of sprays and sprays, blind sprays mid, and was able to find 1. I think Caillou may have seen 5s off of that final jump there, but they're not going to make this push farther down. They're going to wait for TMU to kind of play into them. As over towards A, we have this same kind of FPS Rose v1, as even on the Viper, he seems to just be the lurker of this team. Sets up that wall A every round as he just tries to get info, maybe allow his teammates to rotate over, push up as far into heaven as you can, and that wall almost secures this push through vents as well.
That was a great Astro Wall by TMU. They got the control of Heaven, but it's all down to 5s, and they could not make good use of that wall. I take back what I said. That was not.
Yeah, it looked like a very solid Astro Wall.
At first,
However,
but
when you have Seth and Gub just waiting on the other side for everyone to drop out of Heaven, it ends up being disastrous for TMU. That's an ultimate burned, and everyone falls now. You don't have much money to work with. You've got Huns. Okay, he does have a Bladestorm. He does have a Judge, so you're not as concerned as previously thought. There's that wall once again. It's just going to be set up from Rose every single round here.
Seth does have that Killjoy ult, and they do not have a Silver this time to quickly take that out. Going to see the Bladestorm coming immediately online here. This should be an interesting round. Spike is currently in sewers. Looks like a mid push mainly from TMU, but they are just waiting, a big split push, waiting for that one-way smoke to go down before they make their push.
Yeah, big jiggles from Gub here on the Viper. He uses his one-way to his advantage, knows that camera is going to be over there, uses the snake bite to stall this push just a little bit. NECC ready to put down this Cosmic Divide. Okay, so it was the Saints Cosmic Divide
it was a great wall then, an amazing wall.
Okay, then it was an amazing wall. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense here. Huns actually finds it through the cage as well. Headshot onto Gub. Cosmic Divide is down. Ems just playing on the other side of this, seeing what they can put together. Maybe shut down a flank or two, or shut down a push from NECC. However, the thing about Astra is you shut down the player, that wall persists.
Definitely, and with that wall up, they are unable to spray down that Killjoy ult. Ems takes out FPS Rose there. It's a big player taken out of the game there. And we got a trade. Ems with the 3K, huge grenade, and that is round 12 for the Saints there.
The lockdown from Seth. They spotted out that it was a default plant there, not the one that you can really hold from Garage, and Seth pops that lockdown. Is able to clear everyone off site, and as they have to try and make an aggressive play, they know there's going to be a plant coming through after the lockdown's done. TMU tries to flood out of Garage there, and you've got one player Heaven, you've got one player back site, and you've got another one hopping the bomb. You kind of just have that crossfire that's necessary, and even if they were to win those gunfights, it was already over halfway on that bomb. You have to make it to the bomb and shut down that diffuser as well. It's going to be tough play for TMU to make. Now, match point from the Saints. TMU. FPS Rose is just saying, okay, I'm going fast.
Going deep in.
Go. We've got the force. It's all you can do at this point, but look at all of this utility set up over towards A.
You just have to try and play fast and try and overwhelm the Saints here and try and get a couple good picks.
The Viper Pit started out B as well, so the rotation is going to be a hard play to be made here from TMU, unless they take it all the way through vents and over towards mid. But at that point, you're facing Caillou head on. Here, they look to just be getting deep into screens here, deep into back heaven.
Four-tapping, low.
The player to hold it. Yeah, four-tapping is low after that initial engagement there. FPS Rose, you find the right swing onto four-tapping here. You can definitely take him out early. Just going to require a headshot from four-tapping. He does a lot of damage. Brings two players down to one-shot percentage there. Huns through the wall. Seth shut down on sight, and what looked like such a solid start for the Saints compared to those buys.
That Sky Heal brings them all the way back up, or at least partially back up, brings them up from one shot to at least two there. It is looking tough for the Saints, but Ems quickly gets 3 through the smoke, but FPS Rose shuts down Caillou quickly after. It's all down to Ems and Gub.
Showstopper shut down. 1v1 on the site here. This
Match
is for the
point.
game. This is for all the marbles. Vulnerable is Fives as he's going to be pushed out by Gub. Gub pushing through the molly as well. Takes his own vulnerable. Can you make this shutdown? Yes, you can. He should have the time on this one. Waiting for it to be all said and done. It blows up. That's the 9th round. He didn't have the time.
Oh my god. I thought that was it.
0.56 seconds left on that one, but he's not good for the defuse in the end. TMU Blue and the side of Fives have squeaked out the victory in that attacking round. But once again, even after a win, you're hurting for cash, you're strapped for cash on this side. You have to play just insanely smart positioning, and the problem is that round, as much as it was an insane execution and it did get them onto site, it got them into that post-plant situation, you cannot bank on a round like that.
Definitely. That was a miracle round. Can they use that miracle to bring them up to 12 and bring it into overtime? That is what they're looking for here. Looks like they're doing another A push, but the blind goes off. FPS Rose gets 2.
Wow, blinded as well. Takes up some damage, but is also able to spot 4-tapping in the back of Heaven there. They know 3 players are near A. This is this full rotation to come through from the Saints. 4-tapping just needs to not get tapped up by this Guardian as they move closer and closer. Now NECC just holding this close corner.
NECC loves holding those close corners, those smokes. That is where NECC excels. We have seen them play that. The spray goes off, trying to spray the dog, but does get NECC a little bit.
Gub is low after that initial pick that he found as well. Did get some damage traded onto him. So in terms of health and in terms of the fact that you are on the post plant, TMU kind of has the advantage here. That's a good snake bite to push NECC out of position, but it's not out of position enough as he finds 2 taps. FPS Rose finds the 3rd of the round. TMU is not done with this game just yet. What looked like Saints securing the victory last round has now ended in 2 attacking round wins for TMU. An economy starting to be built up and maybe even overtime on the horizon. Saints, you really need to shut down one of these rounds. You just need one.
This is looking like an unlikely comeback from TMU. That miracle round they had there may have bought them enough money and time and economy here to bring this into OT. This is, you really want to tie this up quickly for the Saints and avoid OT here, because that is where things could turn bad. Gub solo holding A.
I mean, you just have to kind of let this be. You know you don't have the facilities to be able to shut down the push from Garage, but you do have the facilities to shut down FPS Rose there mid. Now you're 1 player up. Astra Stars stalling that plant for as long as possible. Big paint shell. It should get some damage. It's actually just kind of tickles those players in the corner. It's not going to get as much value as initially looked at. Ems low in this round as well. Hun's playing in hell here. He shuts down Gub through that smoke. He's able to just play right back into this Astra smoke, his own cloud burst as well. Somehow finds that headshot onto Caillou. Ems, NECC good for 2, a collat, and a spray down from there. Ems on the 1v3, spots one out, can't find the kills onto NECC. And Sean finishes that one. TMU, what is this comeback that you are putting together right now?
I can't believe my eyes here. I can't believe that collat just happened. That was so unlucky for the Saints. The TMU is making the best of every chance that they get. The stars are aligning for them. It is not looking good for the Saints. They really just want to win this last round here and avoid OT the best they can, because once it's in OT, you lose all the alt charges. You lose all the money you once had. They are buying a lot of judges here. It is looking dicey.
I mean, they have to make some kind of play here, and Fives should be able to spot some out. Looks like they just use up the pistol on that one. Don't want to reveal their judge strategy just yet. Hawk
like
not going to get any intel.
They're going for a mid push, but I think this is what the Saints want. They want them to push B Heaven with those judges. They want to play close. But TMU knows to play this as slow as they can, get as much information as they can. They are probably sure they are up rifles range. They really need to win this round. Yeah,
the thing about this round right now is that the Saints are not going to step forward from any of these positions. They're waiting for TMU to be the aggressors in this round as they can just hold angles. Gub, you've gotten your intel. You know there's one garage. You're able to shut down the camera as well, but that's all you should be looking for now. You know there is going to be a cage to cover that. He does move into a different corner, but 4 TMU players are stacked up A. Sean near B was nothing but a ruse, as it's the A push that they're really looking for. Cosmic Divide comes up from TMU as well as the Seekers. Fives finds the first pick of the round. 2 picks to come through. 2 players on A down, and the Saints have a hard time working with this. Seth picks up an op for the rest of the round. Keeps the judge in hand. Caillou playing close ropes here, but there's a Viper's Pit on site. There's Sean rotating around for the flank, and 3 players just playing close in this Viper's Pit. We saw what FPS Rose was able to get from the last pit they had. And the plant is even in there as well. It's hard to make these plays. Gub, the timing, not going to be good. NECC finds that shot. Caillou somehow still putting in work with this judge. Seekers come out from the side of the Saints. Caillou, this could be what you have to work with. You know he's behind that screen. NECC shuts it down. It's a 1v1. Caillou 86 health, but the bomb, no time. We're going into overtime.
Oh my gosh, what a comeback by TMU. I can't believe that just happened. It looked like the Saints had just won. Bomb was down. It was like a couple milliseconds short of a defuse. I don't know if you know this, but you can see that circle form on the spike, and if you can defuse it just before that circle dissipates, that is a secured plant, but the Saints just barely missed it. It is such a shame, and now it's an OT. It could be anyone's game now. But with the momentum TMU has been having, I think it's in their favor, honestly.
At this point, at least in these past 4 rounds, TMU, once again, it's almost looking like that Lotus game where they're just getting extra value off of every trade. They're finding 2 or 3 kills. NECC somehow comes through with a collat to finish off a round. Like, it's just these what feel like miracles, but are really just TMU setting themselves up for victory so early in this round. And they're playing one of the most passive attacking sides I think I've seen often on Split. And they're able to just win so many of these. Now they're back on the defense. Caillou is going to be the first attacker to fall there. TMU, 1 player up, and a Viper Pit. Viper Pit not online, actually. I don't know. This is just some interesting spectator things we've got here, but
definitely like that Cypher ult we saw
like
earlier from the dead.
the permanent neural theft.
Yeah, that was some wacky stuff, but it is not looking good for the Saints. You don't want to be down a person, especially on attack without spike down. Going to get concussed.
Perfectly timed concuss for NECC to make it out of there.
And NECC gonna be getting another one.
Gets that re-peek onto Ems. He passed by him. Knew Ems was still in that corner. Seth able to trade back to 4 tapping. It does fall 2v3. You've got the plant set up this time, Seth. Pushing pretty deep into this CT zone.
Post plant with Viper and Killjoy is a favorable position, but 3v2, it is not looking good for them.
You have to find 1 or 2 on this initial engagement. The dash comes through from Huns. They don't know where Gub is just yet. Gub shuts him down on the plant. Seth shuts down NECC as they try to fall. There's a Killjoy ultimate. You have to push this one out. You have to win this gunfight up against Seth. Seth with 4 to keep the overtime alive. Popping off on the stage over there as well. At the same time, yes, you found your 1, but the defensive side was one that you were able to keep it even on. So you got to try and find something here.
Gotta hope that it is one of the coin flip rounds in your favor. If you are heads, you are hoping for a heads on this coin flip here. I think carrying into this round, they have good morale. They are in the position to win this with a Killjoy on the defense.
Yeah, I mean, based on the comps, right, you have that Killjoy. You have a lot of this set up. You'd think that this should be all for the defense, but at the same time, TMU has just been showing out and honestly proving us wrong here. Every single round that looks like it should go Saints' way, somehow TMU flips it.
Even
the same for the Saints. The Saints earlier in this game, I mean, before that 5-6 round win streak from TMU, the Saints were able to just flip a ton of rounds on their heads, right? It's just they seem to have lost that momentum. Now you grab 1 round back in overtime, and you're just playing for this.
Ooh, FPS Rose just has the faster reaction time. M's there, not going to let him get away with that for free.
That's exactly what you need to do. You need to keep these trades alive. You need to not be on the losing end of these trades. If FPS Rose made it out scot-free there, TMU could have easily just taken that round through numbers, and we've seen them do it before. However, 1 for 1, up towards A side. Spike's going to be picked up now, and it's a Sewers rotate to come through from TMU. Looks like, I mean, they found so much success on the A site. It doesn't surprise me that they're headed there again.
It looks like the Saints want to rotate, but now that they know TMU is rushing it, they are going to have to rotate back to A.
NECC,
2 people screens.
What is this right now? Saints are not going to be ready for this.
If he watches his left side there, oh my gosh. NECC has those lurks on point.
Yeah, Gub even like had the crosshair ready for that pre-fire, but NECC was just way deeper down the stairs than first expected. 2-4-1 in the end, but it's 2-on-2. Ems dangerously low on the site here. They have to make the defuse as well. They're not ready for NECC to just come through. Shuts one down. Ems low on the site in the 1v1. NECC shuts it down, continuing this overtime game here. 13-13. The time running away from us right now. This is a late series we've got ourselves to. I mean,
but such good gameplay.
I know, with how tight both map 1 and this map 3 have been. I mean, these have been some long Valorant games. Neither team giving an inch, and streaks back and forth as well.
Definitely.
Take a look at these round wins. You see the Saints finding 5 straight in that first half, 4 straight in the second, and TMU somehow bringing it back. And here we are, double overtime, neither team giving an inch.
Yep, both teams just hoping for that, that momentum to just kick in, win one, win another, and everyone gets to go home. But we are excited to see how this penultimate match will end up here. FPS Rose holding that angle so close, B Heaven with a shorty. It gets one. Sean gets another.
Sean on that trade as well from below. He's able to set up the cage, and this is what I'm saying every time. Somehow TMU is just able to get the better of these trades. Now you've got player advantage, and the Saints stuck one player down on attack. Caillou taking some chip damage from mid as well. Flash comes through. Caillou, you're going to have a tough time facing 2 TMU members there. Now, this round on the defense. Yes, the spike is planted, but you're 2 players up for TMU. You really got to make this happen, Ems. You got to show out, and that's how you start it. With a headshot towards Heaven there. 4-tapping. We still don't know exactly where 4-tapping is at. The Cloudburst and the dash to come out from Huns. Huns shut down from 4-tapping. Now you're down to a 2v2. Fives stuck in the corner. Wow, somehow the Saints have turned this around. Ems for 2, 4-tapping for 1. 2 and 2 on that attacking round. You win the attacking round. You get to move on to defense now, but last time TMU took that defense round in overtime and kind of just have a bit of a repeat here. The question is, Saints, can you get some kind of advantage early on into the round so that you're not, even if, let's say NECC goes on another crazy flank and is able to find one from behind and kind of shut down a lot of your big plays there. Yeah, if you can find maybe 1 or 2 picks at the starting, you're going to be looking good moving into that retake, but TMU has just been playing very tricky on this split map. A lot of the times the Saints have just been none the wiser.
Yep, the Saints, I definitely feel, just have to try and play it safe. Play for picks like they are right here. Seth gets out FPS Rose, a very dangerous person to have on the field, taken out. It is not looking good for TMU. They definitely need to win this round if they want to continue to be a participant in this match. Sean gets 1. 4-tapping, gets Sean. But Huns gets 4-tapping. It is just like a chain of fish feeding on each other back and forth here.
The food chain is really showing itself here in this overtime matchup. 2 Saints left to try and secure this victory. TMU looking to bring it to our 3rd set of overtime rounds here as Seth going to be making the play through CT. Caillou going to be making the play through Heaven. Seth sets up that turret. NECC knows he's there. NECC just waiting for that peek to come out. Good for 2. NECC keeping TMU in this game on that post plant. Here we are. We are locked in for another 2 rounds of overtime. Neither of these teams giving an inch. Neither of them wanting to be the one to give this away, to sell this game to the other. We've made it all the way to map 3. We've made it all the way to overtime. I mean, how can you be the team to give it up?
Honestly, I don't know if it's the Saints' nerves getting to them right when they're about to win, or if it's just TMU's will to win.
It has to be. Sean and NECC are making these 5-head galaxy brain plays that work out every single time, and it's like they know the Saints aren't going to be able to respond to them. Ems gets onto site with speed, but 2 kills come through from Hums. NECC gets a trade, and only 1 down from TMU. NECC, amazing on this Phantom.
It's all down to 4-tapping. It is not looking good. They need to win this defense. next time if they cannot get the 4K here, which I feel is unlikely, especially without spike control here. 4-tapping just heaven. TMU playing it very, very safe, very, very slow. I think we might see the full minute of this round play out.
Yeah, the team at this point, I mean, in the overtime, you've been able to win your attacking rounds as the Saints. One health on 4-tapping.
And
straight down through that box. 15 to 14. TMU has been able... Now they flipped the script, right? Saints won every attacking round these previous 2 overtimes. Now TMU wins their defensive round. And the Saints, now on the defense, have yet to win one of these here in overtime. TMU looking to take this game, looking to shut down the 4th overtime possibility here.
It is getting dicey for the Saints. They need to win this defense now more than ever. If not to win, just to try and stretch this game out. It is not looking good. Ems does get one right off the bat. Maybe they can get this defense off, but we've seen those early picks. TMU somehow manages to squeak it out in the end.
And once again, we've got another situation here where somehow TMU has a Viper pit up, but doesn't have a Viper pit up anywhere on the map here. Seth playing this close angle towards A. This is something they haven't really been doing too much. And I mean, FPS Rose has kind of been lurking up in that A main every single round, and Saints have finally become wise to it, keeping it in the bag, flip the script. These teams, now Saints win the defensive round and TMU wins the attacking side. I mean,
you think they're just
30 rounds in, where I still have no idea who's going to take this game, because neither of these teams has shown me that they are going to be the ones to win 2 rounds straight. I just can't believe it at this point. Somehow these plays come through, somehow these shots come through, and it's back and forth and back and forth.
You think they're just practicing here, just letting each other win back and forth with how these rounds are going. You think it's going one way, it goes immediately the other.
And every time it's off of a 2 or 3K on some insane spray transfer from NECC or Sean. Or, I mean, we saw the one round where Sean creeped up through his cages, 4-tapping right behind him. But Sean was able to find 2 kills up towards heaven before 4-tapping could even find out where he was. Huns makes a executive decision for this operator here. Glass cannon on that op.
Hoping that op will prove to break this stalemate here.
That's what you're looking for if you're TMU here.
Any change, hopefully you're going to win here. The Saints playing it very slow, taking notes from TMU. 4-tapping, going to get Sean, way too aggressive there. Caillou going for the scouting, sees one, gets the concuss off.
He's spotted out, he's concussed, he's going to be able, not actually going to rotate out of there, but Caillou is going to be the one to make that rotation. FPS Rose, the last line of defense here on B, shut down by Seth, isn't able to get much damage in return either. Now, this is a 5-player setup here on this B site, only 3 alive from TMU. Caillou shuts down this rotate towards mid. He's able to kill NECC. That's such a key player from the side of TMU. On the ropes. Ooh, Huns is able to find one with that operator, but that's all he's found this entire round so far. He's trying to play this close with the shorty. But the Saints know they can just wait for Huns to be the player to make that play. 16 rounds. TMU, you have to find another attacking win to stay in this series. Can't believe this is the map 3 that we are seeing right now.
Seth has racked up 30 kills this game. These numbers are getting up there.
After an insanely slow game on Lotus for Seth, by the way. I mean, it was a slow game for the Saints in general, but I think Seth ended up that game like 4-18 or something around this. Like I saw that score line during the end of that second half, and now both teams just stepping it up. Seth has come through with, I think, 2 4Ks this game.
Yeah. Seth definitely out here looking to prove himself, prove that that Lotus match was a fluke. And the Saints are here trying to get this last defensive win that they need.
That's the thing, you only need one more round. Sean finds the first pick, however. Gub is going to shut down NECC with the snake bite, but a second pick is over to TMU. Now 3 Saints have to make this rotation. 4-tapping might be able to... Oh, wow. But do they know that it was actually screens where that flash hit. Four-tapping wins the fight up against Rose, but 30 health to his name. Does bring it down to a 3-on-3, however. Sean close up in his cage here. They start spraying through. They don't know that Sean's right there. Sean finds two. Ems stuck with that blast pack. We're going to the 5th overtime of this game. Quintuple overtime here, Matthias.
Wow, this is the most even match I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, these teams are making me run on pure adrenaline right now.
Me too. I had one coffee. I am. That is the last thing going through my head right now is just that caffeine. There's nothing. There's no blood. Just that
caffeine and
caffeine
hype.
And hype.
I mean,
wow, we're seeing
8 players
Phantoms
in this
versus
game.
Vandals here.
8 players in this game have cracked 20 kills.
Yeah, that is insane. At a certain point, you're just gonna have to expect we might see triple digits. We might be here a long
might
time.
See triple-digit rounds at this point. I mean, 16-16 in the 33rd round of the game, and it's like nothing has changed. Both of these teams neck and neck after TMU brings the comeback to overtime. Now, every time it looks like one team has an advantage, the other one comes back with just as strong of a round. I don't know who to even... I don't know who to set my hopes on at this point. I don't know who is going to be the one to crack through this deadlock, because right now, neither of these teams... I mean, and it's Sean, too, in 2 of these overtime rounds to find a double kill that completely swings it in their favor, keeps TMU in the game. The Saints have been good to win a lot of these first overtime rounds, but just cannot secure that second. I think TMU found one of the first rounds up until now, and from that point, it's just been their attacking sides winning out over the Saints' defense.
It is quickly turning into a game of attrition here. Which team will run out of steam first? Caillou gets the kill on 5s. NECC going to rotate around. Sean gets 1. Sean gets 2, actually.
Sean's
and
always
Seth
good for 2,
cleans
apparently.
it up there.
Trade comes back from Seth, but Sean finds another 2 kills in a round. Huns caught on the reload. FPS Rose, though, right behind his teammate. 1 player left. It's Caillou playing Heaven. The spike is planted, but it's a tough position to be in. You're waiting on this flash. You shut down 1. Can't find the taps on the other. First round of this overtime going to be going this way of TMU Saints. Now you got to pull together another defensive round, and TMU, they have been good usually to win their attacking rounds, so I'm going to have to see if that can come through.
This is just purely a deadlock here, just back and forth continuously. 17-16. I have not seen these numbers yet casting. This is the first time I've been casting like a quadruple overtime maybe.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever made it to our quintuple overtime that we're in here. I mean, 34 rounds now. Going to be on the 34th round as TMU at this point with the lead, and you're on that attacking side, which you've been pretty... I'm going to say you've been favored on this overtime with these attacking rounds. You're looking to just take this all the way through. The Saints have to just hold steadfast here. Try to shut down maybe Sean or NECC, but it seems like every time one of those players is shut down, it's Huns or it's FPS Rose to come through and make that miracle play. Yeah,
someone fills that much-needed gap of the playmaker there. It looks like TMU NECC is going in for an A push here, waiting out that molly, going through the smoke, playing that smoke. We haven't seen NECC on those smokes there. Caillou going to get a little bit of a spray on NECC there, but Han's going to clean up that Heaven window space.
Caillou spending too much of his focus towards that A link there, and he's going to be taken down by the push-up ramp. Now it's Seth solo on this A site as 4 TMU players start to just crowd around FPS Rose, starting to make that rotation as well through sewers. 2 players from the Saints here on A. Can't really give up those 2 players B in case of the rotation. All noise has been cut from TMU. They're looking to flood out onto this site. They're looking to do it fast. They're looking to do it maybe in this next 5 seconds. Seth shuts down 1, spotted out by that camera. Ems falls as well. Seth, they know he's in this corner. What a spray! 4 kills from Seth to save this round for the time being. 2 players coming back. the plant is going to come through. They kind of know where Fives is at for this plant. Shut him down off of that flash. What is happening right now? We're going to the 6th overtime. I don't even know what the word is for that.
Sextuple overtime is the word.
I mean, at this point, we're going to go to, what, decatuple overtime? Like the 10th? The 10th?
After 10, I don't know.
If we make it to the round score 2020, I might just... I don't know. I might just crown both of these teams the victor and call it a 2-2 series. Like, I don't even know what you do at that point.
I don't know either.
Who is going to crack?
17-17. Wow. Seth at 35. Seth continuing to just be dominant, not losing steam at all, making sure to prove that that Lotus game was just a fluke.
You have to assume it's a fluke, right? I mean, at this point, these teams are so evenly matched. Sean, not even going to fall early. 2 health to his name. The trades come back through. 4 tapping good for 2. 3v2, but even after all those trades are said and done, it's still only a 1-player advantage. Do they know that Huns is so close up here? He finds the one back. Down to a 2v2. The spike is planted. We've been in this situation so many times before, though.
It's almost not even surprising at this point, but it is surprising that it just keeps happening over and over and over. It's like you can't expect these crazy plays, but they still somehow just keep happening. Huns going right through the smoke, trying to get a spray out of here. Gub going to get taken out by NECC.
Caillou playing in this back corner, finds one. Flash out onto NECC, but he plays it slow. Waiting out this time where he can. The smoke falls. Spray through the wall. Is this going to be a wallbang to finish off? The attacking round is won by the Saints.
But can they defend it? We've seen this story over and over and over.
Yeah, I know.
But they just cannot get that defense. The TMU attack is too strong. They somehow squeak out that attack.
It's almost always on A. If I were the Saints at this point, yeah, you're already seeing 4 players set up here towards A, and this is the one time TMU starts off their round towards that B side. FPS Rose. At this point, in this overtime, Saints, you have to know there's going to be at least one lurker here. FPS Rose has played outside A at the starting of like 25 of these rounds. At some point, you have to catch on to it. And Gub, you're here as the Viper. Viper Raze is one that can shut down the explosive push to come onto B, something that the Saints have been pretty partial to, especially with a Raze on their team. Now, slowed down this attack, and TMU still set up the rotation from 4-tapping. He's playing back near spawn now. He's going to allow those stars to have a map-wide presence. Caillou shuts down FPS Rose. That's what I'm talking about. You know you're going to have someone peeking there eventually.
I feel like I'm getting deja vu. I feel like I've seen this story before.
Yeah, I've seen this round probably 6 times at this point.
But it is interesting every single time. You're just hoping that maybe the Saints can squeak out this much-needed defense. They can get those defenses when they need it. When the TMU wins their defense, it's just they can pull it out, but they just need something to break this stalemate here. Sean gets 1. NECC gets 2. Sean gets 2 again. I feel like there's a script here.
Every single time, it's just back and forth. Right-click to come out from Fives. Caillou in the 1v3. Caillou, you've got 1 flash available. You can't hear yourself as the sky. 2 taps. One of them being a headshot. One of them going to secure it. Huns falls. 1v2. Playing these separate elevations is going to be hard for Caillou, because the thing is, they're at the exact same like XY plane kind of. The horizontal right on top of each other, so Caillou can only find one here. He finds the one below, or he finds the one above.
This is too difficult.
And the other one makes the trade.
This is too difficult. It's impossible.
It is just impossible to break through that with what you have available.
I am getting flashbacks to that defuse he missed by a split second.
By 5-6 seconds. Changed the entire course of this game and made this overtime.
Props to TMU to bringing it to this point, but you know, you'd think someone could break the stalemate here, but they just keep tying it up. Sean gets the double kill. It's insane that it keeps happening. I am in disbelief. I am flabbergasted.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we're so many rounds deep. You can call this a best of 5. I mean,
Let's see if we can. We're almost at double digits. We're almost at 24.
I know. We're seeing triple doubles across the board as well from some of these players. 24 assists on, I believe that was 5s there from the TMU side, making these flashes, making these concussions go to work.
5s has that dog ready. Dog is out. What that dog doing gets taken out by Seth. Sean holding that corner very well. Like a hawk. Seth, they are. No one wants to make a mistake here.
You know when there's a pixel of red on Sean's screen, somehow there's going to be a double kill in the
There's going to be a double kill.
Yeah,
Collat.
Every time. With an angle like that as well, all it takes is a little misposition on that angle for a Collat to come through. I mean, we literally saw it in VCT Grand Finals there. This game is no stranger to insane plays, to nail-biter plays that save the game at this point.
FPS Rose in the smoke with the shorty.
5-1, he shuts him down.
He gets
He's able to
2,
shut down
3. Holy moly.
FPS Rose keeping the defensive round alive. Sean once again finds 2.
The classic
Saints.
Sean double.
Now you have to shut down this TMU attack. You have to stop them from taking a 20-18 victory here on this scoreline. We're almost 40 rounds deep into this game.
Almost want to see 24 just to see that like double of a match. I almost want to see it, but I do. I am just amazed at how far this has gone.
Listen, no matter how far it goes, we are locked in here. We are playing this one
I'm at
out.
the edge of my seat here.
I don't even know anymore. 2 players push out mid. NECC.
NECC on the classic flank.
1. Can't find the second. I think that's the first time we've seen a non-2K from NECC. Still waiting for Sean to find only one. But
Sean will get that double. We will see it.
Still 1-for-1s. FPS Rose makes that plant. This time the attack comes on to B. This has been one that the Saints have been able to win. That's a little chunk of damage there from the snake bites as well. Headshot through the wall, vulnerable up is Huns. Sean trades that one back
Will he
immediately.
get the double?
Look at the timing. Sean didn't see the little jiggle from 4-tapping. It's a 3v3.
Saints definitely need to win this. After so much time you've put into this game, you can't just let it down now. Gub takes it out, takes Sean out. Sean did not get the double there. FPS Rose hiding behind that box with a snake bite, trying to stall out that defuse.
I wonder if that snake bite saves the game, though. Oh, it can't take you down, right?
It can't take you down. I think that's enough for a defuse. That is a split-second defuse by the Saints. That is 19-19. We hear the players screaming in the other room. I am screaming as well.
I'm screaming inside of my head onto the mic. There's just nothing but, nothing but hype running through my veins. I think I said that, 3 overtimes ago at this point, and here we are, 19-19.
Delirious. I am.
Now the thing is, regardless of the end score, regardless of how this ends, somebody's cracking the 20 barrier.
Yes, Gub and 5s both want to crack that 20 barrier. They need 4 more kills. Once they crack the 20 barrier, I'm sure everyone's ready.
I was talking about rounds, too.
I was talking about kills. Oh, you're right. Rounds. You're right. We are going to crack that 20 barrier here no matter what.
It's insane. 3 players up from the Saints. They've made it out into heaven. Astrowell going to slow down Ems, and it's going to slow down the push enough for Gub to get traded out with no return. Ems is able to bring one back for the team. Caillou shuts down Sean.
In the corner.
Falls down from FPS Rose in a crazy corner angle there. Seth, can you find the taps onto heaven? Has to make a push for that spike now in a 1v2. Seth, we've seen crazier things in this overtime. Can't count you out just yet, but you have to make a decision. Recalls the bot. Both players kind of have a feeling that this is happening, though. Huns and Rose shut it down, or Huns and NECC, the last players left, shut it down.
I see TMU is now just focusing on winning those defending rounds over and over and forcing Saints to tighten up their defense, because the Saints cannot get that defense round in when they do get the win. And now it seems like the script is flipping over. Saints have to win that defense, and they're getting it every single time. We're seeing 5 Phantoms from TMU, and we're seeing a mix from Saints.
Yeah, it feels like TMU has been winning their attacking side rounds maybe, 6 out of these overtimes here. 6 out of 12, but once again, the second their backs are up against the wall, the Saints make some miracle start to a round. You find 2 kills. Sean is dangerously low.
A B heaven push right here. Gub gonna suss that out, put down a snake bite, flash. NECC gets, was that through a flash?
Yeah, through a flash, finds 2 half-blinded. Both Saints there off of that flash have no utility available for themselves, nothing in their hands. You shot out a snake bite, you shot out, I believe Ems tossed his either a paint shell or a grenade there, but 4 tapping.
2020.
2020.
Only 3 years ago, the Valorant's release year. We have reached that in the scoreboard here.
This is at this point now we've played played out 12 rounds full of overtime.
Wow, that is a half. That's a half a game.
Yeah,
that's in
that's
overtime.
Match point.
We have played
one team.
We've played a game and a half here so far.
Round 41 we're getting into right now. I never thought I'd catch myself saying those words. Especially, here's the thing. This is just a regular season game.
This is not grand finals.
We are this deep. Map 3, round 41, 7th overtime.
This is going so far because I think it's personal. Saints want that revenge. That is a huge snake bite by TMU, but Saints get right around that wall and up to ramp. NECC going to hold that close behind that box, going to jump up on that box, wait for the wall to go down. They're not ready for it, but Gub is ready for it. Ooh.
NECC traded out. Saints feeling good about that one, feeling good about this pick on Sean as well. Now it's 5 to rotate around. He's making a little bit of noise. They definitely know. Snakebite comes out. Flash comes through as well. But double flash back and forth. 5s. Can't find the kill onto Gub. Gub is going to be making the better of that trade. Huns shuts down Caillou over near A Heaven. 3v2. Actual Viper Pit to come out this time.
Finally.
As Gub was able to get so many ultimate points. FPS Rose, the only one left. The last line of defense here.
But with a Viper Pit, they're in a very good position.
Yeah, the Saints are feeling this one. You can win an attacking round, and then
they've tightened up the defense.
Got to win that defense round. They've been able to do it in the past. FPS Rose catches Gub out on that corner. Viper Pit down now, but not enough health to his name. Seth, good for 3 in this overtime round. I think Seth should have cracked 40 from that, if I'm not mistaken. That is 40 on the dog.
That is 40 on the board there. 4 tapping, 37. We might see double 40 if 4 tapping can get a 3K here.
Yeah.
This is getting crazy. Both teams are just, it's just seeing who runs out of steam first here at this point. It's just.
The thing is, too, is it's not even like it's 1 or 2 players like making the difference in these rounds. We've seen Seth clutch up rounds. We've seen 4 tapping clutch up rounds. We've seen even 5s and Gub there, playing their controllers, playing their supporting roles, and still making plays happen when it's necessary, even if they don't have the amount of kills as everyone else. The assists are up there. And look, I mean, you've got Gub placing these one-ways. Astra, smoke gonna fall as Gub continues to lock down this Heaven area. FPS Rose makes it deep up into A Heaven. 2 players from TMU have now made it into A Heaven. The rotate through vents. 4 tapping might not be ready for 3 players to just pop out of vents here.
Definitely.
Spots his head.
Oh my gosh.
Doesn't find the headshot though. The wall bangs
close.
are not enough damage. At least you've taken off armor, but Sean's back to full health now.
TMU knows if they lose this, all this time they've sunk nearly half a game into this match. Over half a game and a half. You don't want to give up that time just to lose at this point. They want to tie this up.
I mean, that can go both ways at this
for
point.
Both ways, definitely. But with them on the losing end right now, FPS Rose gets Seth. Sean with the up gets out Gub. looks like we might be going into 21-21.
Once again, it's just a defensive round that the Saints cannot make happen. There's no other way to cut it.
They can make it happen when they're about to lose, but it seems they cannot get the back-to-back rounds down.
And
same for
obviously
TMU.
That goes back towards TMU because while Saints have found a lot of the first rounds here in these overtimes, TMU, there's been 2 or 3 of these overtime setups where they have found that first round and then Saints just come back on the defense and are able to find it. Caillou can't finish it off. He does shut down FPS Rose, but 2 players waiting for him. 4 more left on the team. 21-21.
We are nearly into 24-24. It is getting insane. We are nearly double an overtime match. We're playing like 2 games in this one game. We've sunk nearly the same amount of time. It's getting crazy out here. Sean going to stick with that op he found. Good use of it in it. Maybe that is the thing that can break the stalemate. This op. We shall see.
One
he
for
gets
one.
A trade.
Nano Swarm, he sticks it out to be able to find that kill. However, up down from TMU on this defense side, it's going to have to be a deep push to pick it back up, but there's nobody to stop Fives there from going to pick up that operator. Fives yet to move forward for it as 4 Saints stuck up around this A side. Huns perfectly nestled into the side of this Viper wall. It's going to drop as the stars start to come down. Ems checks out the corner, but not quick enough. Trade does come through from Gub as 3v3. Keep it on the board. Now, somehow both of these Vipers have their ults up. Gotta love Spectator Client, but 3 players from TMU up near Heaven. Caillou shuts down 1. You found the better of the player numbers here. Caillou rotate backs out to main and holds these long angles towards screens. FPS Rose drops down. 4-tapping. Spots him out, and now Rose has to worry about sight and has to worry about Caillou. Gub shuts them down. That's the attacking round win from the Saints. Now, once again, just like last overtime.
Not to be a downer, but at this point, does winning that even matter? You need to win the second round. We just have not seen them win that defensive position. They can win it when they need to, but they need to win the back-to-back. They need to play like they're on the ropes here. They need that extra oomph. This is a little off topic here, but I am so glad I had that coffee. I never drink coffee. I need this energy today.
That's definitely helping out right now. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, if we get late enough, I might have to just start slapping myself in the face to hype me up.
Oh my goodness.
Finds the first one, dashes forward. Ems for 2, finds NECC through the smoke. Now, you're on the defense, and you found player advantage, something you haven't been able to do in a lot of these rounds. But at the same time, the last time we saw player advantage on the defense, I think Sean came through with probably 3 kills, so can't count TMU out just yet, but
we were looking for the Sean double here.
Yeah, it's 2 players that you want out of the game there if you're St. Clair. Now it's a Heaven push. The Nano Swarm going to stall it. The turret
but
going to
KJ
give them
is
the info.
Alone on B here. It could be disastrous for Seth if they push ever so slightly faster before they get the rotate off. 4-tapping, holding the angle on CT side.
Cage triggered on stairs. That kind of gives 4-tapping the go-ahead to start moving forward. Seth finds his 1 against FPS Rose. He spots out Sean's hat as well. He's not able to get the better of that gunfight. Sean keeping the game alive right now, putting the plant down. Corner boxes. 4-tapping, knows exactly where the plant came down. 3v1 Saints. This is it. Fives, you have to make this 1v3 happen. It's in the post plant. You're playing in a smoke under Heaven. Your feet are caught out.
That is it.
23 to 21
goodness.
is going to be our final score. I think it was Gub there just holding down that defuse, keeping it going.
Gosh. What a
what
game.
Did we even experience right now? That was, 44 rounds of Valorant in the map 3.
I will forever remember that millisecond difference diffuse that the Saints did not get. That was the turning point.
Look at the scoreboards. 42 kills from Seth. 33 on Caillou. You take it towards that other side. FPS Rose on the Viper, absolutely showing out with 34. and it's actually a much more even split of kills. The Saints kind of have 2
Definitely.
players up closer to the 40s, and then 2 players in those late 20s, or those high 20s, I guess. And the side of TMU kind of just 30s all across the board. And that showed in the overtime as well, right? It wasn't the same player making those, or I guess making those clutches, continuing the overtime every single time there. It was a mix between Huns, FPS, Rose, NECC, Sean, the whole group of them.
Yeah, it was a very good team effort all around. It was back and forth and back and forth. We saw ops come, ops leave. Wow, what a match. That was a great send-off to that bitter rivalry. Saints did get their revenge in the end.
Yeah, this is, keep in mind, that's the team that knocked them out of that last CVAL bracket, or that last, I guess, CVAL qualifier, is it? But either way, they are able to take the 2-1 here in the regular season of NECC. I'm sure everybody is nice and worn out from a long game like that. I know we're ready to wrap things up here. Shout out to everyone on production for bearing with us through this. Amanda holding down the graphics, Ryan holding down the observing, and Jobin every other directing necessity. I can't even speak
I know,
anymore
we
at
are
this
running
point.
off of fumes here.
Yeah, but we are ready to close it out here. Hope you all enjoyed this absolute banger of a Valorant Best of 3 that we just had here. Week 5 of NECC gonna be done for the time being. 2-1, Saints take it over TMU Blue. Thank you all for joining us. Matthias, thank you for joining me on the mic here once again. Get you on for more Valorant.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure, honestly, but that is gonna be it for us. Hope you all have a great night.